I find it funny that my songs get banned for offending the LGBT, but Eminem used to threaten him in his songs, and his music is still up. I got the answer. I have to make a song like Eminem. Here we go. Stop! That's gay. Why every gay man are like stereotypical black women? Why every feminist grow up to be cat women? Why can't we force workout plans on fat women? I need to lose a few pounds too, but that's different. Eminem had a curse to sell records, but I don't. I mean, he sold a solo and whoa, but I won't. I keep getting banned for all these lyrics I wrote, which means they probably banned a Bible song, cause that's what I quote. You think what I'm saying is very wild? Why people adopt kids just to be better? And wonder why kids grow up dressing like Harry Styles. They said they coming for the kids, it's getting carried out. Bryson, are you homophobic? Yes, 97% on the homophobia test, but I was 3% off, so I wasn't impressed. All the people, they should be under arrest. They say the song's so offensive, but only if you get offended. I can't offend you without your permission, and you don't even have to listen. They say the song's so offensive, but only if you get offended. I can't offend you without your permission, and you don't even have to listen. Eminem threatened gay people in his songs. I'm not that bad. I just wanna to Iran or Baghdad. I mean, they wanna leave anyway. Why are they that mad? I'm not mean. I just have questions I wanna ask. Why are men paying no dresses to be edgy? Back in high school, I would've gave them a wedgie. Trans people scream out, why won't society accept me? But they didn't accept themselves, or they ain't ready. They say, Bryson, are you homophobic? Yes. Well, are you transphobic too? Yes. I mean, I don't know who I value less. A harlots on Insta showing their breasts. Being the president isn't a job for women. Calm down. Put on the dress, back to the kitchen. We used to shame the generous, but now it's different. We turn from God, now on TV, two men kissing. They say the song's so offensive, but only if you get offended. Why are you mad? I can't offend you without your permission, and you don't even have to listen. Bro, just cut it off. They say the song's so offensive, but only if you get offended. It literally turn it off. I can't offend you without your permission, and you don't even have to listen. Okay, one more time. They say the song's so offensive, but only if you get offended. Everybody sing along. I can't offend you without your permission, and you don't even have to listen. Hands in the air. They say the song's so offensive, but only if you get offended. I can't offend you without your permission, and you don't even have to listen.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Oh no, he did not just say all that. Like, you are so homophobic that it's disgusting. Like, I'm crying right now. Like, I think you're secretly gay. I think you need to take some anti-homophobic training because you are a threat.
And don't forget, switch to America.com for all of your household items. Body wash, lotion, toothpaste, and they got steak, boy. Stop giving your money to liberals. Switch to America.com. They always offended, it's often admitted. I'm all independent, I irritate those awfully wicked. Wait, pause for a minute. Bryson, why you causing division? I loved your music, now you're homophobic, all for attention. They say I'm only popular because I'm controversial. Or is it that your favorite rappers all with pop commercial? Y'all got Spotify to ban my songs, I guess my topics hurt you. And do y'all miss real hip hop because this the time reversal? The baby can promote violence and drugs all on his CD, but he'll get canceled if he ever offends LGBT. I know everybody hates me, but I also know they need me. But they cancel me because I don't succumb my freedoms freely. And hip-hop wasn't always like this, bruh, believe me. Now rappers wearing dresses and calling each other sweetie. Well, somebody gotta say it, huh? Why can't it be me? Can I say screw Dr. Fauci? Can I say screw the CDC? Hey, uh-oh, Bryson, tone it down. You know we need your voice. God of the world. Well, that's an easy choice. Who has time for some white guy in a BLM face mask? Playing my music, screaming everything that I say is bad. I can't bow down to the mob cause I'm too real. I can't be controlled cause I don't need a deal. They say you going way too far, you need to chill. Sorry, I don't really care about how you feel. Ayy, I can't bow down to the mob cause I'm too real. I can't be controlled cause I don't need a deal. They say you going way too far, you need to chill. Ayy, sorry, I don't really care about how you feel.
I resurfaced on purpose, I'm Houdini. Now I ain't going nowhere like I'm Tim Pool's beanie. I got permanent sermons and words that can burn through a genie. I could perfectly search for the surface and fly like an eagle, praise Jesus. Your favorite rapper is satanic, great panic in the place. It ain't safe to be straight magic. Play patterns in your face till your brain scrambles from bass samples. Can't handle the heat, then get away from the flame candles. Don't quote this song, just say a prayer to the Holy Cross. I flip like motocross cause the news is faker than Photoshop. My flow is cold and hot, it's like Noah's Ark next to molten rock. So when I'm focused on being close to God, I can open locks. Big Pharma must be lobbying rappers cause they be telling you to get injections, partying after. Kids are dying from the fentanyl while popping the Xanax, and I don't want our friends to die, but that be part of this chapter. That's why I flip the script, hit the drip, get a grip, sedative, chill. Drink water, think smarter, ink artists sit on the quill. They want black to keep the cycle on and white to hate themselves. So can't you tell they want us all in camps and both to stay in jail? Don't let us fail.
I can't bow down to the mob cause I'm too real. I can't be controlled cause I don't need a deal. They say you going.
Hey guys, what's up? Happy Friday. The day has come. The debate is here. We are about to get started. We are going to have a ton of fun. Hopefully this live will not get taken down and we'll be able to stream the entire thing. We will see, because the rumor is CNN wants exclusive rights and they have asked YouTube to shut down any stream that has this live going on their channel. So what we're going to need from you guys is to go ahead and give this video a like. Make sure you're dropping comments, that you're constantly commenting. If you guys want to donate to the show, you can hit the donate button from the Let's Talk Darling page. That would be my page. Unfortunately, that's the only page that we monetize from. And we really appreciate the support. There's lots of fun stuff we're going to be covering just prior to the debate. It starts at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're just going to get ready and talk about what's been going on leading up to the debate, what to look forward to. And yeah, we're going to have fun. We have some cocktails because, there's some drinking games going on. And, there's some fun stuff that we can do. So if you don't have a cocktail, hurry up and go run and grab one. Grab a snack as usual, because you get the munchies when you're watching something entertaining. And there is no doubt that this is probably going to be one of the most entertaining shows of the year. Okay, so sit right back and we're going to start the show right now.
You are now tuned into Somewhere in the Middle with Soonie and Mo.
Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, dying on the beat. I got so many ups. Everywhere I go, I got so many ups, so many ups. I know they plotting against me. I know it's hate, they wanna kill me, but please don't tempt me, cause I got so many Glocks. Hey, ain't none of them empty. Jesus said they would hate me too. That's how I know it's envy. I got so many ups.
Hey guys, welcome. Yes, I'm sorry, Judy. I thought it was Friday because that's usually when we do the show. It is only Thursday. I'm that excited. I don't even know what day it is. I don't even know.
That excited. Dude, I've been looking forward to this day for months. As soon as I found out they were finally going to be debating, it took forever to get here. June 27 took a long time to get here. What are y'all's predictions? Drop your predictions in the comment section. Do you think there's going to be a full debate, or do you think Joe Biden is just going to tap out and the medicine, whoever's feeding him the medicine, right? I think it might wear off in the middle of the debate and we might see him wig out. Or me and Mo were talking earlier. See, I'm getting into this like conspiracy theory land. She was talking about this like small ass earpiece that you can drop in the ear. What if Donald Trump figures out that the Joe Biden campaign is sneaking information in, and you know how you do the feedback and it goes in his ear? Can you imagine how he would react?
Yeah. He's like, oh god damn. Yeah. That would be funny. I love it. I love that you're in the conspiracy with me. No, but for real, there's no way possible this guy could do the debate without any help. It is impossible. Okay, so I need all y'all, the Bureau of Investigation. Okay, y'all know who you are. You're on Sooni's team. Some of y'all are on my team. The Bureau of Investigation. We need y'all to figure it out. Also, rumor has it that Trump's VP is at the debate.
Who do y'all think it's going to be? That's another. We should get votes going for that too. Who do you think Trump's going to pick for VP? I said, okay, Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think he's going to pick him.
Yeah.
And it's either going to be Ramaswamy or Vance.
Did you see Brandon Tatum's video though?
No.
About it. Okay, so Brandon Tatum did he did a video where he was like, I think we know who the candidate's going to be. Now, I tested this myself, but by the time I tested it, the website was already down. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a I think it's the North Dakota governor, Buckman, something like that. Okay, some guy I have never even heard of.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Brandon
said that if you type in Buckham or whatever his last name is,
Trump. The website.
Yes, that it goes straight to the Trump website. And so Brandon was like, well, maybe they bought the domain ahead of time, blah, blah, blah. But the minute Brandon's video came out, they took page down. They took it down.
This is called masking. Okay. Listen, you guys are boomers. You don't understand that you can literally buy a domain, okay, and have it redirecting to Trump's website. And then they make you think that this is what they're coming out with.
Yes.
But in all actuality, it's not. Somebody wanted to troll the internet and they rerouted whatever the dude's last name is and Trump together. They just rerouted it back to his website.
Yeah.
It's going to be Ramaswamy.
If Trump, like we had thought, like I had said, I think Trump's got like a new campaign manager. I think he's got a new team because he's doing all kinds of new stuff. If that is in fact true, and they were smart, it will either be him or it will be somebody black or a woman. Okay. If he
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, if he puts a no-name person in there, I don't know what to do. But I wouldn't put it past Trump because, Trump needs somebody that he can run the show with. Like, he doesn't need a bigger personality than him. You know what I mean?
All I know is it better not be Senator Tim Scott.
Yeah.
You better not pick him. You can pick Byron Donalds. All right.
Don't pick this one. Don't pick this one.
You could pick freaking Ben Carson, Trump, but please do not, for the love of God, please do not pick Senator Tim Scott.
Please
That man is unbearable to listen to. I don't think I could tolerate 4 years of listening to him sit up there and pander. I just can't do it. Can't do it.
And please don't pick this person that Joe said, Marjorie Taylor Greene. We are not.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Shout out to Discord. Discord is in the building. All right. Shout out to everybody who's here from Discord. They're here from all these different servers. I appreciate you guys sharing the content that I put out, the content that the show puts out. I'm appreciative. Now we just got to get Mo on board to come in a Discord, and interact a little bit. It's good. It's good for the show. It's good for them. They need us.
Let's not start with all that. The bigger brain play would be Spike Cohen. Trump already begged. What does it say? Trump already begged for libertarian nomination. He did? Woman.
What up, Cheyenne? We got Tyler 2K fresh in the building. What's good? We got Sean. You guys know I always give this Discord server a shout out. Limitless. Go check it out. There's actual debates in there. I need for Cheyenne to give me her logo so I can put up your logo. But if you guys are looking for fun debates, orthodox philosophical debates, you should go check out Limitless. And hopefully one of them will drop the link in the chat and you guys could go ahead and join the server.
And I hate to burst your bubble, Paul, but it's not going to be Candace. She's at home. I just saw her story. She's at home having chicken and dumplings. She's at home having chicken and dumplings on her patio, ready to watch the debate. Hopefully she's tuning in on the Soonie and Mo show. I don't know. Like somebody tag Candace and tell her to come over here. We need her.
The last time we covered a debate, we had
thousands of people
watching. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy town.
It was crazy. Let's hope for that tonight. So definitely share this out We just saw that they started the countdown debate on CNN, 32 minutes and 52 seconds.
Let's go.
Oh,
Let's go.
I got chills.
Are you scared? What's gonna happen? I think that something crazy is gonna happen, and then they're gonna cut the feed, and we're gonna see, you know what you see in the movies when something crazy happens on the news, and it goes to that blank
Yeah.
channel, and it's like
like back in the day, like when programming ended at midnight
at 10 o'clock. Yeah, time to go night night.
And then it's gonna be like, please hold. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Yeah, sure you are. Sure you are. Your boy short circuited. I know that's what it was. Your boy short circuited. There's like he's gonna be like a cartoon. This smoke's gonna be coming out of his ears.
Shit, bro.
Oh,
Bro. While we're sitting and waiting, we have to watch. We're gonna air commercials. All right. This is like. I hope we're hosting like the Super Bowl of presidential debates, and more people come over here and watch because they're fun. We're also not going to do a lot of talking throughout the debate. So if you guys are looking for a stream where there's not a lot of talking and you get to hear the presidential candidates, this is the stream you need to watch. We will give our commentary during commercial breaks or during a lull, which I think we'll have a lot because Joe Biden is not there. Okay. The mall is open, but ain't nobody shopping. That's who we categorize him.
He's a few chicken nuggets short of a Happy Meal.
A few Crayolas short of the Crayola box.
Yeah, we now don't get it twisted. Now, if some backwards ass shit gets said on this debate, we're gonna have to call it out real quick, okay? But Soonie's got a team of people doing fact checking.
We have some fact checkers. Yeah. Yes, we have some fact checkers that are going to be working with us. I'm going to be doing fact checking, and we're going to do the best we can to get out quality information. Oh my God, that is not who I think it is.
Who?
Okay, sorry, that just completely distracted me. We're going to have fact checkers, and I'm going to do the best I can to fact check during this debate. But I wanted you to see this because I was cracking up. Look at this commercial.
Okay.
Okay, Joe, last one. We've been here for a week. You got this. All right, number one, the dude's convicted felon. Say Trump's a convicted felon. Over.
Every answer. All of them.
Felon. All right. Russia, bad. Russia's real bad.
Real bad.
Don't like them. Ukraine, good. Zelensky, more money. Billions to Ukraine.
More money.
All right, border secure. What is he talking about? Well, wide open border. What are you, nuts? Aliens are cool. LGBTQAI+. We love the gays.
Can't get enough of them. You're gay.
I'm gay. You're gay. All gay. All right, the economy. Hey, Joe, focus. Focus, all right? Shiny thing.
Remember the plus.
Yeah, Roe v. Wade, abortions, have them. Everybody have them. Wait, Joe, wake up. Hey, wake up. Focus up. Don't fall asleep.
That's number one on the list.
Give me the adrenaline.
More?
Yes, we need more. This guy's a freaking passing out old.
All right, Joe, wake up.
Adrenaline shot is ready, and boom. There we go. Daddy like you, huh? Daddy like you, huh? All right, Joe, focus. Continue. All right. Don't talk incest. You didn't shower with your daughter at an inappropriate age.
You were conserving water.
Yeah, you're going green, okay? Don't slip and fall. Do not slow your words. And listen, if Hunter comes up, he's amazing. All right?
The smartest man you know.
And do not say the N-word, Joseph.
We're live. We can't cut it.
I know you love it. And guess what? If you don't say the N-word, you get a little treat.
Double stuff
Oreo cookie. Last but not least, do not insult Israel. Don't you dare.
You love the Jews.
You love the Jews. So I think we're good.
Yes. Everybody say it in the comments. We love Jews.
Everybody say it in the comment section. We need to make sure this stream goes off without a hitch. I'm not trying to get taken down. Make sure I should change the background to the flag, to the Israeli flag.
Yeah.
Last time you did that in the show, we did great. Maybe you should put that in your background again.
We'll see. We'll see if I need to pull out the big guns, the big Jews, then I will. If I need to pull out the big Jews, thank you, Cheyenne. Everybody, if you're watching this live, please comment right now. We love Jews. We love gays in the comments. We don't want this live to get taken down. Yep, we love them Jews.
Yes.
I'm live right now on my TikTok, but you guys on TikTok can only hear one side of this conversation. So you want to hear the both sides, you got to come over to Somewhere in the Middle or Let's Talk Darling on YouTube, and you'll be able to see us. Oh, man. Okay, so people are wanting to do drinking games. Well, let me tell you everything that's going on the internet right now. So we have got actual bets. I saw a website where they are doing bets on this debate. I mean, like, I don't know if this is okay. I don't know if this is real But they're basically doing predictions on which phrases Trump will say during tonight's debate against Biden. Okay, so this is what the vote is so far. So right now, at a tie, the two phrases that people are betting on Trump to say, and if you bet yes for this, it's a 66-cent bet. If you bet no, it's a 36-cent bet. Okay. The two phrases are fake news and Hunter. Those are the two phrases that people are betting on Trump to say the most. Coming in second, second, they have the word felon. Coming in third, they have Sleepy Joe and crack. Those are a tie. And last but not least, the word dementia. Okay. So right now, as it stands, one of the bets with a $1,500 buy-in, you guys, a $1,500 buy-in. What will Trump say during the debate? People are betting $1,500 that he will definitely say the word Hunter Biden. If you win this bet, you could win up to $2,142 right now. That's how many people have bet. It's probably up now because I'm not looking at a live tally of this, but this is on Polymarket, I believe. The second bet is Sleepy Joe. That buy-in is $500 and you can win $2,491. Third, Biden stumbles during the debate. If you bet yes to this, it's a $500 buy-in and a winnable pot of $4,545. The biggest one is Trump and Biden shake hands at the first debate. People are voting yes to this. They think this is going to happen. It's a $5,000 buy-in and it is $14,285 to win. That is crazy. TikTok, if you guys are watching, please tune in on the YouTube channel at Let's Talk Darling or somewhere in the middle because you're not going to be able to hear the other side of this conversation. We have a live chat going right now, so head on over there. My link is in the bio of my page. If you click on the Instagram, I think it shows you my YouTube and it'll take you from there. Okay. So if you guys have any predictions, please definitely put them in the comments below so that we know what it is you are predicting. My words are not matching my mouth. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so here are the rules to this debate, if you guys don't already know. Okay, so there's some rules set in place, and this is what they are. So if you don't already know, this is going to be moderated by Dana Bash, who is CNN's chief political correspondent, and Jake Tapper, who is CNN's lead anchor and chief. Okay. They're going to be the ones moderating the debate. The rules are as follows. There's 4 rules that I know of. Unless there's another one, you guys can definitely let me know. Number 1, this will be a 90-minute debate with 2 commercial breaks. Okay. So you guys, if we see more than 2 commercial breaks, we know something is up. Okay. We know something is up if we see more than 2 commercial breaks. We know that Joe's got smoke coming out of his ears. He's short circuited. The batteries died. The volume has worn off. I don't know. Whatever else he's taken to make it through. Number 2, mics will be muted when it is not their turn to speak. Now, this was demonstrated on CNN yesterday. So they demonstrated how if one candidate is speaking and the other candidate tries to speak, you will not be able to hear them at all. Okay. Number 3, they will not be allowed any notes or any props. Now, I've never seen, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never seen any props brought to a debate before. But if I'm wrong and you guys have seen people bring props, let me know. But no notes or props. They will be allowed a pen and paper, which I guess will allow them to make notes, right? But they can't have any pre-prepared notes. And last but not least, no live studio audience will be there in attendance. Now, the media is only being allowed to cover this debate from a building across the street. Now, if you think that that is sus, drop a yes in the comments because I think that's sus. I don't understand why they can't be in the building somewhere, just in a separate room for the media. But, you know, I think this whole thing is pretty sus if you ask me. So yeah, there's that. As far as a drinking game goes, if you guys would love to partake in a little beverage with us and play the drinking game, here are the rules, okay? And if you want to take notes on this, you can, because we're not going to be able to have this up while we're streaming the debate. By the way, let's check and see what time we're at. 32 minutes, I think, and 52 seconds. Is that correct? Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, we're roundabout at about 32 minutes. Okay. So drink when. This is when you drink, okay? Drink when Biden calls Trump a convicted felon. Drink when Biden says, listen, folks. Drink when Biden tells a childhood story that probably didn't happen. Which will probably be a lot, okay? Chances are you're going to be pretty drunk by the end of this. Drink when Biden says, quote, we're protecting and saving democracy. Drink when Biden makes a joke about his age. And drink when Biden starts a sentence but ends with a completely different thought. I have a feeling if you guys are participating in this, we are going to be trashed about 5 minutes into this thing. Okay. If you are pro-Biden or you're just wanting to play along on both sides, you're going to drink when Trump does this. Says, quote, people or everyone is saying, end quote. Okay. So, to give you an example, if Trump says, people are saying that the Black community really, really resides with me because I have a mugshot. That would be an example. Okay.
Oh, God.
Drink when Trump says Sleepy Joe. He's going to say that quite a bit. You guys know it. Drink when he refers to the Biden family as the Biden crime family. Drink when Trump insults Jake Tapper. I think that one's probably my favorite one, and I hope he does do it. Last but not least, drink when Trump does jazz hands or any other excessive hand motions, like pointing finger up doesn't count. That's the only thing that doesn't count when he does this, because Trump always likes to wag his finger at people. So anyways, so that's the drinking game.
That's the drinking game.
Yes, I just went over the rules of the debate, by the way, what can and can't be done by the debatees. Do you want to talk about Gavin Newsom? Let's talk about Gavin Newsom, Soonie, since you kind of posted on that.
I was like reading an article, and someone actually sent me the article as well, and I was like, this is fake. Let me see if I can pull it up. Gavin Newsom is acting as they called him they called him a spicy surrogate. He's going to be sitting in the spin room at the debate as a surrogate for Joe Biden.
Oh, Lord.
And they called it a
spicy surrogate.
What did they call it? They had a name for it. Presidential surrogate or something like that. It was wild. They even defined it. Dictionary.com. They defined what a presidential surrogate is, and it's just somebody who steps in and makes appearances or makes statements for the president when the president can't be around. Yeah. And we all know that Joe Biden, oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Joe Biden is not really around. Like, the man is dead. The man is dead. So he will attend the debate as his surrogate. And like I said, that literally means someone who's going to step in when the president can no longer do it. I thought that was pretty strange. Yeah. Because if there's nothing wrong with him, he has his cognitive ability, he can debate, he's stronger than he was 4 years ago, and he's a great president. Why does he need Gavin Newsom to potentially step in for him? Like, who's Donald Trump's presidential surrogate? Do y'all know?
He doesn't need one.
This is crazy. So this came from, it's by the staff of this local news organization in Fox in San Francisco. And they said, California Governor Gavin Newsom will be on hand for the presidential debate in Atlanta. Newsom is expected to serve as a surrogate for the Biden campaign and will make several national TV appearances. I don't get why. This is not the first time Newsom has served in that capacity. He acted as a surrogate for Biden after the Republican presidential primary debate in Southern California in September. The presidential debate between two presumptive nominees, Biden and former President Donald Trump. And they're just saying where it's going to be broadcasted. But what do you guys think? Why do you think that they would have him there not only after the primaries, but now? And why do you think Gavin Newsom is going around? He just came back from China, didn't he? Going around making appearances on behalf of the president of the United States when he is the governor of California.
Right. But you guys remember that random debate between him and DeSantis.
Yep. And he beat the brakes off DeSantis.
He really did. And I don't even like Gavin Newsom, so,
No.
Yeah.
I don't like him either.
We've been saying on this show, like from the beginning, you've been saying Gavin Newsom and I've been saying Michelle Obama because I was like, Michelle Obama's a very likable person and she's, probably the only other one that can win over at least a large amount of the female vote, that he has. And, I'm still holding out for that. I don't know. Because I wonder, they would really have to steal this with Gavin there. Don't you think, Liddell?
Of course. Your boy is here. It is now a show now. I have arrived. You're welcome.
Here we go.
God is good. You've seen me. You can praise him now.
All right.
Praise him now. What's his name? Jesus. There you go. I'll let your partner. Let your partner. Don't get mad at me.
He's so crazy. Why is everybody's cameras blurry real quick? Like, what's going on?
I don't know.
Mine is good. Mine is good. Mine is good.
So what do you think? What do you think is the prediction about Gavin Newsom?
They have all options on the table. Everyone, whenever you believe your opponent is Hitler, Mussolini, pick a damn word, all options on the table. They will. I believe that Hillary Clinton is actually on the table. I believe it.
Stop.
I believe it.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I believe it. I believe that she is on the table. Show me.
You don't think that she's got too much heat on her?
No, because of the fact that she believes that she believes she lost that the election was stolen from her, which is a big lie, but she believes that.
Wow.
She will keep saying that till she goes to the grave. She don't give a damn about you or me.
That's a really big prediction. I did not expect Michelle Obama. I don't know, Liddell.
No,
that's left field.
Not Michelle.
Not Michelle. Hillary Clinton. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Michelle, she ain't doing that. Michelle, I'm chilling hard.
Now, do you think? This is what I say is I definitely think that before it gets to election time, the Democrats are going to pull Joe Biden out, citing health concerns, and say, you know what, guys, something's going on. Something happened. He's not going to be able to do that. And then they're going to slide in either Newsom or one of the other two that we mentioned. That's
potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially. I believe Newsom does want to be the president. He's the worst governor I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he's bad. He's horrible, but he is so in love with power. There is a formula they call you fail forward. The worse you fail, the easier for you to be able to go higher, and that's prevalent on the Democrat or on the Republican side, the Rhino side.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. For sure.
Trash, garbage.
I'm gonna put our stream up here, our timer, so we can kind of keep an eye on this. We got about 13 minutes till showtime.
13 minutes.
Now, what's going on with this CNN or YouTube talk about it? They're trying to not have people watch and fact check real time, which is trash.
Yeah.
So what's his name? What's the dude that always wears black beanies?
Tim Pool.
So Tim Pool did a video a couple days ago, and he said that YouTube reached out to him directly and said that they were asked by CNN to not allow for them to basically monitor anybody who's trying to live stream this debate, and for them to take down any channels. Yeah.
Interesting. So YouTube, was it true? Was it true that YouTube was doing that?
I mean, listen, I have experience with YouTube, and I know that they have done it in the past with other things. Not with live streams. I've never seen it with a live stream before. I don't even know like
Okay.
what legal basis they would have to do that.
Sure.
But you never know.
Interesting.
You know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I am live on my TikTok, guys. If you want to watch what we're talking about here, I may share this link on my platforms as well. I'll let you guys know. But we are on Somewhere in the Middle. So just look up Somewhere in the Middle and you can come see us live. It's real simple. On YouTube.
Somewhere in the Middle USA on YouTube. Yeah.
Somewhere in the Middle USA. My bad.
Yes.
Somewhere in the Middle USA. You get to see me, Soonie, Mo. You'd be blessed because you see us, all three of us, really because of me, which would be good. And then you can get blessed. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Y'all don't get mad at me, y'all. I'll let your partner.
Julius is gonna come up with us.
Juju, what to do, baby?
He's gonna share his viewership with us, which is good. We're trying to get a bunch of people watching one stream.
Do we need to add his channel? Can we add his channel to this right now?
Oh, he could do it himself when he comes up.
Well, I'm saying we have him.
How do you do
Hold
that?
on, I'll add it.
How do you do that?
Well, we've already. No, we've had him. I'm adding it right now. We've had him on the show before, and he gave us the access to his channel, so he signed it up on here.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
All we have to do is add him. See, he's up there now.
That's right. You guys actually use StreamYard. I use a different one. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 11 minutes. Oh my gosh, this is like torture.
I wonder if it's a way for me to be able to share it on mine too. Also,
yeah, you can put yours up here. You can hit it at the top. It'll say add your stream.
Where?
Top
stream,
right.
So it says stream this to your. Oh, look at your button. Log in. Well, do you have to have a StreamYard account though?
No.
Really?
Nope. Anybody can do it.
Let me see. I'll let you. Okay, here we go. I sure do. I'm almost done. Don't get it twisted. Okay. No account exists with that email. So it's forcing me to have to sign up with it. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? See y'all on TikTok. It is not allowing me to do it. What is going on here? Yeah,
Ooh.
it's forcing me to have to sign up for StreamYard. I don't need StreamYard.
Well, that's weird.
Mo,
I didn't used to do that before. Yeah, what's up?
Look, I have a conspiracy theory for you.
Okay.
Your thing is still up, by the way. I'm not removing it. Look at this. It says, really think about the Joe Biden versus Donald Trump CNN debate. CNN is requiring Joe Biden to be on the right side of the stage because they need the camera angles to match their pre-recorded footage they shot this past week. There's a 2-minute delay because they shot pre-recorded footage of Joe Biden's responses in a studio that is going to look like he's in today's debate.
I believe it.
When Biden's brain fails during the questions, they're just going to edit and splice footage together. Now, how are they going to do this while we're live?
Listen, I said this to Soonie earlier, so hand to God, okay, that I said this.
He did.
If they are able to pull this off and make this fool look coherent, I'm going to give them their propers, okay? Because that is impressive. And it really is. Like, shout out, their editors. Listen, they're just people trying to work too. I ain't mad at the editors, okay? But if their editors can pull this off, my hat's off to them, okay? If you guys are joining from Julius's channel, he's going to be up here shortly. We just added his channel to it, so please don't leave. I know you see Liddell in the corner, but that's Liddell, not Julius. And he'll be here soon. He will be.
Don't go nowhere.
Don't go nowhere.
I thought that was cool. I'm like, ooh, Mo might like this conspiracy theory.
Yeah. So do you think, let me ask you this. Do you think that Trump is going to hit on some of the more controversial topics that he hasn't spoken about before, like the jab?
Well, no. I don't think he is. I think he's going to be more measured. You're going to see a less entertaining Donald Trump. Because he has to be. He has to be because of the fact that he's trying to get the moderates. He is fighting a uphill battle. He's going to debate against 301. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two is their intention is to get him to be unhinged. That's their intention. So he's going to be more measured, more stoic. You may get some moments where you get an entertaining Trump because you have to also appeal to his base. But the lion's share of it is going to be him. He's going to be more stoic. Watch.
Okay.
Watch.
Okay. I mean, I can see that because I told Soonie, I think he's got a new team. He's been a little more polished and a little bit more thoughtful about his stuff lately. And I think he's got a new campaign manager. And yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that happening for sure. People are saying they believe CNN has leaked the questions to the Biden team. I'm sure. There's no way he could answer these questions off the cuff.
Well, he's going to be jacked up. He's going to be jacked up when it comes to whatever he's taking. I don't know what it is. Someone says, I concur with that. He's going to get a little bit more. I
don't think it's going to be boring.
No, he's talking about, she's talking about Trump.
Yeah.
We're so used to the animated Trump. Guys, if you want him to win the election, get used to the stoic Trump while he's campaigning. Now, once he wins, you're going to see that the Trump come back because he's going to, I wouldn't say he's going to set it off. I mean, he's going to set it off. And don't be surprised. I believe people think it's going to be JD Vance, Doug Burgum, or someone else. And that may be the case when it comes to this VP. I believe it's either going to be Donaldson, right? Vivek, or JD Vance and Doug Burgum. Those out of those four. But my favorite guys to me is Byron Donaldson.
Yeah. I don't think Burgum is a good choice. I mean, I really don't know. Yeah, he's boring. He doesn't know. I don't think that's a good choice. I think his best choice would be Vivek. You don't think he's going to have a woman in there?
No, I don't think it is. I think that in my opinion, the smarter pick, but it may be a little riskier because of his background, because the Democrats are going to bring it up, Donalds, because before he actually became a congressman, he got into a little legal trouble, turned his life around. He's good. The safer bet is going to be JD Vance. Okay. He's going to be a safer bet. Yes, he is.
Okay.
JD Vance is going to be a safer bet.
Dominique, as far as I know, he's not going to be announcing his VP tonight, but the rumor is his VP will be there.
Well, he has 5 people there. So,
yeah.
So very strategic.
Let me tell you, what's her name? Katie, what's her name from Arizona? Better not be there. She's always around. What's her name? Kate.
I'm on Kari Lake.
Carrie Lake, yeah. Kari Lake.
Whatever her name is. Kari Curry.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I really got my family watching y'all. This shit is crazy. What is up to Marlandon's family?
What's up, Marlandon's family?
Don't get triggered tonight, because these are a bunch of pro-Black Trump supporters here, and a Latina. So don't get triggered. Just stick around and watch.
Who she calls? What do you call me?
What?
Not a Trumplican. You call me
a Trump tart?
Trump tart. No, you said something else, like the Trump. Not the Trump.
Oh, the Colt 45.
Yeah, the Colt 45. Shout out in the comments if you're with me, Colt 45. If you are a Colt 45, a lover of Trump, an X-22 watcher, put a 1 in the comments. Let's go.
But JD Vance is cool, but is he low key and this is just me being a conspiracy theorist, a op?
Ooh,
because he didn't like Trump back in the day. But he did come back around and say he was wrong. And this is like years ago. He was wrong, and Trump endorsed him and got him elected and everything. So he did turn over. But I don't know. We have to see. I don't know.
We shall see.
Colt 45. What's up, 45. Moose? What's up, Moose?
She's happy. Look, she's like, my people are here. I'm not by myself.
My one people. My one person.
It's so good.
Yeah. Donald Trump, man. How many minutes we got? We got 5 minutes until the debate starts.
3 minutes.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
3 minutes, guys. 3 minutes.
it is 3 minutes.
I sent you a
You're
message,
potting this,
Soonie. I'm
Mhm.
nervous about my stream being slow. You want to see if you can pull it up because you always have a better stream than me.
The
You
debate.
may
Yes.
what you guys may want to do
I
is
got you.
have a Rumble backup just in case.
Yeah.
Because CNN may pull some shenanigans.
I think Soonie's got some backup.
Well, I got a bunch of backups, so we'll be good.
It seems weird for a convicted felon who was found liable for sexual assault and is out on bail for hundreds of thousands of dollars to be on the same stage debating with our nation's president. Hey, that's the way the law.
Who said this?
That was from Ashley Sanders. Shout out to Ashley because she's the first time I've seen her
It's
name.
weird for a convicted felon. Oh, well, Ashley, I got a question for you, Ashley. Would you be okay with them actually doing what they did to Trump to you? Because if you're not, be quiet. Be quiet.
Oh, that's what she's saying. I thought she was basically. Never mind. I mistook what she was saying.
Okay, my
bad.
bad.
Seems weird to be on the.
My bad, y'all. Ashley, if I've misinterpreted, my fault. Forgive your partner. I own it.
Yeah. Well, no, you
will
may be
own it.
right because I thought what she was saying was that isn't it funny that it's fine for him to be a convicted a felon on the stage with the president, but he can't vote? I don't know.
I mean,
No.
just in case people didn't see my fact check a couple days ago, there is a Supreme Court case that just got decided on the 21st of June this year that sets precedents for Trump to win his appeal, and all those convictions are going to be overturned. So this is not something that's permanent. So technically, he's not even on stage with the felon because Trump didn't do anything to have felony charges placed against him. And I'm saying this as an extremely tough critic of Donald Trump.
She is.
I am a tough critic.
She's crazy.
Period. See, this will happen when you got to do a show with Colt 45ers. It's crazy.
Come on, Moose. Back me up, Moose. Back me up, Moose.
Colt 45ers, man.
Rumble is down. They took Rumble down?
Rumble is down. I tried to access Rumble earlier to see if I can get some streams.
Well, the reason why it's down is because of the fact that it's crashed because everybody's over there. That's why.
Right. And by the way, Ashley, Mike is correct. He was not found liable for sexual assault. That's not one of the things that he was found liable for. There was no proof of that. In fact, the woman that was in court, by the way, her entire court proceedings were funded by Democrats. It was now released. But she actually admitted that there was no sexual assault.
Yeah, and how can you be held liable for sexual assault? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
and listen to how they define sexual assault. They're saying if you bump into someone and your hand accidentally hits them, that's assault.
Yes.
That's assault.
And we can thank liberal women for that because you guys redefined that for us. So that's your fault.
They cut the feed. See what I mean? We could go back and check out the audience, but you can see them setting everything up. Damn, they cut it.
What, in the debate you could see them setting everything up?
Oh, here we go, y'all.
Okay, let's go.
Pivotal rematch with the White House at stake.
From
All right, y'all.
NBC News, here are Lester Holt and Savannah Guthrie.
Good evening and welcome to the first presidential debate between President Biden and former President Trump, hosted by CNN.
These two men have debated in the past, of course, but this time is going to look a lot different.
The debate is being held at a TV studio after the candidates bypassed the commission that hosted the debate since the 1980s.
So there is no audience tonight, and the microphones will be muted after a candidate's speaking time is up.
The debate expected to run 90 minutes. There will be 2 commercial breaks this evening.
We're going to bring you full analysis here on NBC once the debate is over, but it is about to begin. CNN about to broadcast the presidential debate. Let's listen.
Case to the American people with just over 4 months until Election Day. Good evening, I'm Dana Bash, anchor of CNN's Inside Politics and co-anchor of State of the Union.
I'm Jake Tapper, anchor of CNN's The Lead and co-anchor of State of the Union. Dana and I will co-moderate this evening. Our job is to facilitate a debate between the 2 candidates tonight. Before we introduce them, we want to share the rules of the debate with the audience at home. Former President Trump will be on the left side of the screen. President Biden will be appearing on the right. A coin toss determines their positions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer a question and 1 minute each for responses and rebuttals. An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
When it's time for a candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on and his opponent's microphone will be turned off. Should a candidate interrupt when his microphone is muted, he will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements. There is no studio audience tonight. Pre-written notes, props, or contact with campaign staff are not permitted during the debate. By accepting our invitation to debate, both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept these rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Oh my Lord! Who you waving at?
It's already not looking good. He already came out.
Who the hell are you waving at?
And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Woo!
You did not just fucking cheer.
Woo!
This is embarrassing.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do is try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought on the position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs, but there's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of a household where the kitchen table, if the things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. Price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems. And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination, what I was left with in corporate greed, is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos. Literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year. In a situation and we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price of around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Thank you, President Trump.
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID. And when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates. That was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you. President Biden?
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he's the greatest economy in the world. And, the fact of the matter is that we found ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant in the military. You know, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can.
Am I allowed to respond to him?
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can do whatever you want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down, and then they bounced back, and he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing. And they don't know what they were doing. It was probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President Trump, over the last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt. Well, so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So, former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent. All of the things he's done, we've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to the country, and I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President Biden, I want to give you
Let him respond.
a question about the national debt.
Let me respond.
National debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. Now, what I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers. They'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President
Cheers.
Trump. Thank you, President.
Well, he beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. Man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people. What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
This is the first presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion pill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex, but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, and getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars
Sounds horrible.
Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're at a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, have your and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in. They talk about that. But here's
Move
the
the
deal.
comment. People can see it.
Young women are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters.
Come on, man.
It's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
There have been many young women murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world, considered the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which frankly they didn't. But they would have, everybody wanted brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal scholar wanted it that way.
Staying on the topic of abortion, President Biden, 7 states, I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an abortion.
What is going on, bro?
Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I support Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. The first time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision.
It's over.
A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And
It's
if I'm
over.
elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
It's over.
It is
You
over.
can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the governor, former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's
That's
willing
sad.
to, as we say, rip the
kinda
baby
sad.
out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
That is simply not true. The Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not
He
the
just got done
circumstance.
saying 3
Only
months.
woman's life is in danger. She's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. Late-term abortion. Period.
Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship.
See how you
said
get
it was the
mad?
right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? In fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative.
How you said, and Trump face went.
I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and
They're not
security
softballing the
concerns.
questions.
Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where You had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. It's better than when he left office.
No.
And I'm going to
What
continue
numbers are
until we
those?
get the total ban on
The Biden numbers.
the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look,
There's the
we have the
meme.
safest
There's
border in
the
the history of
meme.
our country. The border, all
Got
he had to
the
do is
meme.
leave it. All he had to do is leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now, all terrorists all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere, all over the world, they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in
called him
history.
Brandon.
Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in
Thank you,
caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person come in and his administration, killed 3 American soldiers, killed 3 American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorist ever got through, but the idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people. That's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating, he's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before. And you're reading it like these 3 incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and they just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country. We're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all. And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by allowing all of these people to come in. And it's a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And he opposed, his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq.
There we go.
Living right next to
Is it glitching for you guys?
Came back with stage 4 glioblastoma.
No.
I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery. World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up, just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
Yeah, the 4-star general standing to your side was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right, thank you so much.
Let's move to the topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its 3rd year. Former President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, a president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never invaded Ukraine. A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned. And so he's got no love lost, but he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine, never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything, no money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
President Biden?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look, the fact of the matter is that we're in a situation where, let's take the last point first. Iran attacked American troops cause brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it. Recently, not when he was president, they attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place. Number one.
What's he talking
Number
about?
two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that airlift. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish. Kyiv, and he in fact didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done, and they've lost thousands and thousands of troops, 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I
I'm gonna
never
come back
said
to you
that.
for 1 minute. I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the
No, they're
territory
not
in Ukraine.
acceptable. No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
President Biden, you have a minute.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire, not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the way, all that money we give Ukraine are from weapons we make here in the United States. We give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why we're strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October, Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Among those held and thought to still be alive are 5 Americans. Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through to the G7 to the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward, which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas. Number one, they're the only ones standing out. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened in Israel? We're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so there are 2 different things. Hamas cannot we allow it to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas like we did bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been greatly weakened, Hamas, greatly weakened, and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful for what using certain weapons among population centers.
Just going back to Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together have spent 100 billion or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any, they were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting all, you got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
President Biden, you have a minute.
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO. You're going to stay in NATO? He's going to pull out of NATO. The idea that we have, our strength lies in our alliances as well. It may be a big ocean, but we're ever able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war in Europe? What happens if, in fact, you have Putin continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine and then move on to Poland and other places. See what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation has a serious threat to the whole world peace. No major war in Europe has ever been able to be contained just to Europe.
I cannot wait till we go to
President Trump, just to follow up,
I can't wait.
Would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have, but we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this, I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question, would you guard us against Russia? At a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time. And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021. After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
It was a trap.
You have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say, but she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor in writing turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her. And she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full responsibility for January 6th.
President Biden?
Good answer.
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up to Capitol Hill, number one. I sat in the dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours watching, begging, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America.
No, he didn't.
In fact, he says he'll not forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. He went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court. And they said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. He did do a damn thing. And these people should be in jail. And they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out. And now he says if he loses again, such a whiner that he is, that it could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden.
What?
President Trump?
You never said that.
What they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many other cities, you go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. When you look at all of they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that. They saw them coming and they left immediately. What he said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing. The Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm
There you go.
Oh, here we go.
And the
Bring it
fact
up.
of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill. And all those people, every one of those who were convicted, deserves to be convicted. The idea that they didn't kill
They deserve
somebody,
to be
just went
convicted.
in and broke down doors, broke the windows, occupied offices, turned over desks, turned over statues. The idea that those people are patriots, come on. When I asked him the first two debates we had, first time around, I said, will you denounce the Proud Boys? He said, no, I'll tell them to stand by. The idea he's refusing, will you denounce these guys? Will you denounce the people we're talking about now? You denounce the people who talk about Capitol? What are you going to do?
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have.
I just don't like that they're not letting them
of
respond.
34 felonies last month. You said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the Select Committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. my retribution is going to be a success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with his son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
What? The idea that I did anything wrong.
Nobody else got to respond.
About is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number three, the crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
Wow.
Give you a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do, but I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that, could you ever think you hear any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Do you ever hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas? What got me involved to run in the first place after my son had died, I decided in Iraq, because of Iraq, I said I wasn't going to run again until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods carrying swastikas on torches, and singing the same anti-Semitic bile they sang when back in Germany. And the young woman got killed. I spoke to the mother, and they asked him. They said, "What do you think of those people? The people the ones who got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the ones," he said, "I think they're fine people on both sides." What American president would ever say Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic bile, carrying swastikas were fine people? And this is a guy who says Hitler's done some good things.
Going back
I'd like to know what they are. The good things Hitler's done, that's what he said. This guy has no sense of American democracy.
Really? President Trump.
Jake, both of you know that story has been totally wiped out because when you see the sentence, it said 100% exoneration on this. So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville. He ran because it was his last chance. He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency is, without question, the worst president, the worst presidency in the history of our country. We shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place. Every anchor every reasonable anchor has debunked it. And just the other day, it came out where it was fully debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse to run.
President Biden?
And debunk. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. And the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran. I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected. If he thought they were good people coming out of that forest, carrying those woods, carrying those torches, then he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the idea that he's talking about all this being fabricated, we saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. We saw the people breaking through the windows. We saw people occupying his own vice president. Look, there's a reason why 40 of his 44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president hasn't endorsed him this time. So why? Why? They know him well. They serve with him. Why are they not endorsing him?
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
Wow.
Listen, they might as well just etch some stationery for Trump right now.
Bro.
Listen to me.
This ain't even a question in my mind that he's winning this debate.
This is
Trump won.
Sony, go ahead. This is your show. Go ahead.
This is my show.
Soonie about to put on her MAGA hat.
You know, I wrote down a lot of fact checking. I also pulled up a ton of fact checking here. There were so many things to fact check. I don't think I'll be able to cover it all by the time they come back. But to me, the most important thing that I think Trump did was not fall into the trap of defending himself. He stuck to the facts. I know people want him to be an attack dog right now, but he's playing it smart. He's taking a very diplomatic approach. He's sticking to the facts. He's saying what's happening. He's saying, hey, look, you did this, buddy. You actually did this. And we got a few fact checks right here. This is actually the audio and the video that Donald Trump was talking about when Nancy Pelosi admits to everything. Listen to this.
We should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
Because you said no.
They thought that they had sufficient resources. There's not a question of how they have. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for war.
She takes responsibility. So the fact that Joe Biden sat up there and said, that's not true, you lied. Joe Biden is not alive during this debate. This is actually extremely sad that this man is up there trying to debate, and they know that he's not capable. This is why Gavin Newsom, and I won't be surprised if he brought his happy ass out there. This is why Gavin Newsom is the spicy surrogate, because he's getting his butt whooped.
Yeah.
Trump is beating the crap out of him right now.
Dog walk.
Trump,
walk.
Yeah. Trump heard, let's get ready to rumble. Biden heard, let's get ready to mumble. Okay. He is staring. Listen, Biden is staring into the afterlife as we speak. Okay. It really is. Listen, I know we're up here laughing and kind of chuckling at it.
This is so bad.
But I think even Trump has like a little bit of compassion for him, because I think he really could be going in. You can see it in his face that he's just like, man, this guy is really lost. Like, this tells you how lost they are, y'all. They had like, I don't know how many people trying to coach this dude leading up to the event, and he still came out like this.
16.
Still
Yes.
16 people. 16 people.
This is really sad, y'all. Like,
Man,
Joe Biden, why are you letting your husband be done like this?
If y'all
sorry, Liddell, go ahead.
Go ahead, Julius. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I was going to say that what's unfortunate too is that you'll have Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre at the next press conference. They'll ask her about, do you think Biden was not all the way there? She'll go, well, Biden actually was speaking clearly. He made some good points. Like,
it was misinformation.
Yeah, it's horrible. Like, she'll act like we didn't see what we didn't see.
Yeah.
Right, like it's all fake.
We have, y'all, we have.
Well, we're back. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We are back. Pull this back up.
Live from Georgia. Let's talk about persistent challenges you both faced in your first terms and you'd certainly face again in a second term. President Biden, while Black unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, Black families still earned far less than white families. Black mothers are still 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes, and Black Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there's more small Black businesses that have been started than any time in history. Number two, the wages of Black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number three, we're trying to provide housing for Black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporations that collude to keep people out of their houses. And in addition to that, we find that the impact on the choice that Black families have to make relative to childcare is incredibly difficult. When we did the first major piece of legislation in the past, I was able to reduce Black childcare costs. I cut them in half. We're going to make sure we provide for childcare costs. We got to make sure, because when you provide those childcare protections, you increase economic growth because more people can be in the job market. So there's more to be done, considerably more to be done. But we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any Black family first-time home buyer should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home so they can get started. I made sure that we're in a situation where all those Black families and those Black individuals who had to take out student loans that were ballooning, that if they were engaged in nursing, doctor, and anything having to do with volunteerism, if they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest is forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that.
What is
and we're going to do a whole lot more for Black families.
What is this?
Thank you, President Trump.
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right. It's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing Black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do was leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New Scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the Black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking Black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're taking Black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you. President Biden?
There was no inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on its back. 50% unemployment. He decimated the economy.
Talking about
economy. That's why there's
someone forgot the infrastructure bill.
There were no jobs. We provided thousands of millions of jobs for individuals who are in all communities, including minority communities. We made sure that they have health insurance. We have covered, the ACA has increased. I made sure that they're $8,000 per person in a family.
You're printing money.
Healthcare. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again. And they're going to try again if they win. You find ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing any, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity.
Come on. Pencils down, Bobby.
But in inflation, he caused it by his tremendous malfeasance in the way he handled the pandemic.
Thank you. Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis. 2023 was the hottest year in recorded history, and communities across the country are confronting the devastating effects of extreme heat, intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes, and rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you've vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Well, let me just go back to what he said about
the
police.
Amen.
How close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was his name. And he called it to them for 10, and they've taken great offense at it. And now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job, great senator from South Carolina. He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones. And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever, the best numbers. He's lost much of the black population because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also done a horrible job for Hispanics. But wait till you see these millions of people pouring into our country, and they're going to take the jobs, and it's already started, and you haven't seen anything yet. It's a disaster.
You've 38 seconds left. President Trump, will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
I don't know where the hell he's been. The idea that anything he said is true. I passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history. We find ourselves, and by the way, black colleges, I came up with $15 billion for HBCUs, historic black universities and colleges, because they don't have the kind of contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black students capable in college of doing any white student can do. They just don't have the money. But now they'll be able to get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have done something to have the cleanest water, he hadn't done a damn thing for the environment. He pulled out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord. I immediately joined it because if we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius at any one point, there's no way back.
What is he talking about?
The essential threat to humanity is climate change, and he didn't do a damn thing about it. He must undo all that I've done.
The Paris Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion, and China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing. It was a ripoff of the United States. And I ended it because I didn't want to waste that money because they treat us horribly. We were the only ones who was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it. And it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors.
Yes, he did.
What he's destroying all of our medical programs because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people, but we're destroying our country. They're taking over our schools, our hospitals, and they're going to be taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
Good Lord, this is so bad.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones of consequence who were not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything if we're not able to? The United States can't get its pollution under control. One of the largest polluters in the world, number one. We're making significant progress. By 2035, we will have cut pollution in half. We have made significant progress, and we're continuing to make progress. We set up a climate corps for thousands of young people who learn how to deal with climate, just like the Peace Corps. And we're we're moving in directions that are going to significantly change the elements of cause of pollution. But the idea that he claims that he has the biggest heart up here and he's really concerned about pollution and about climate, I've not seen any indication of that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, one, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
did not.
You slide.
So every day, millions of Americans struggle just to make ends meet. For many older Americans, Social Security provides a critical lifeline. President Biden, if nothing is done to Social Security, seniors will see their benefits cut in just over 10 years. Will you name tonight one specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent?
yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share.
What
right
the
now, everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck from the time of the first one they get when they're 18 years old. The idea that they're going to, I'm proposing that everybody, they pay, the millionaires pay 1%.
On unrealized gains.
So
How about that?
after, I would not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody under $400,000. After that, I began to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share by increasing from 1% beyond to be able to guarantee the program for life.
So you still have 82 seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent, or is that one enough?
Well, no, that one enough will keep it solvent, but the biggest thing I'll do if we defeat this man, because he wants to get rid of Social Security. He thinks there's plenty to cut in Social Security. He's wanting to cut Social Security and Medicare both times. And that's what, and if you look at the program put forward by the House Republican caucus that I believe supports, is in fact want to cut it as well. The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors is ridiculous. And by the way, the American public has greater health care coverage today than ever before.
No,
and
they
under
don't.
the ACA, as I said, you're in a circumstance where 400,000 people, 40 million people would not have insurance because they have a pre-existing condition. Only thing that allows them to have that insurance is the fact that they, in fact, are part of the ACA. And by the way, the other thing is we're in a situation where we talk about education for Black communities. I've raised the amount of money for Pell Grants by another $8,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year is going to be able to get
more
$15,000 worth of tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
So I've dealt with politicians all my life. I've been on this side of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. He can look you in the face. About so many other things too. And we mentioned the laptop. We mentioned Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security, he's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country, and they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them onto Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens. What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street, and these people are living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden.
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers, he acknowledged after that he fired that general. That general got fired because he's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it, number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where all these millions and millions, the way he talks about it, illegal aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we have the fastest growing economy in the world, the reason why we have the most successful economy in the world. We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession and inflation.
Like what we're on right now?
And by the way, worst president in history, 150
He just admitted the illegals are taking the jobs.
The worst president in the history of the United States of America.
President Biden, thank you so much. Let's turn to the cost of child care, which many American families struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to address this issue, but the average cost of child care in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year per child. For many families, the cost of child care for 2 children is more than their rent. In your second term, what would you do to make child care more affordable?
Just to go back, the general got fired because he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very highly respected, much more so than him. The other thing is, he doesn't fire people. He never fired people. I've never seen him fire anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot of the top people at the FBI, drained the swamp. They were no good. Not easy to fire people. You'd pay a price for it, but they were no good. I inherited these people. I didn't put them there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man that was involved with that the Afghanistan horror show, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. He didn't fire. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing 18 million people, many from prisons, many from mental institutions? Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate. He is the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now, all of a sudden, he's trying to get a little tough on the border. He came out with a nothing deal, and it reduced it a little bit, like this much. It's insignificant. He wants open borders. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as voters. And I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He is the worst in history by far.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden?
We're the most admired country in the world. We're the United States of America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. We have the finest military in the history of the world, the finest in the history of the world. No one thinks we're weak. No one wants to screw around with us. Nobody. Number one. Number two, the idea that we're talking about worst presidents. I wasn't joking. Look it up online.
Making stuff up.
159 or 58, don't hold me the exact number, presidential historians, they've had meetings and they voted who's the worst president in American history.
Who gives a damn?
Worst. They said he was the worst in all of American history.
Yep, all the paid people.
That's not conjecture. He can argue they're wrong, but that's what they voted. The idea that he is doing anything to deal with child care, he did virtually nothing to child care. We should significantly increase the child care tax credit. We should significantly increase the availability of women and men or single parents to be able to go back to work. And we should encourage businesses to have.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make child care more affordable, if you want to take your minute.
Just so you understand, we have polling, we have other things that they rate him the worst because what he's done is so bad. And they rate me, I'll show you, I will show you. And they rate me one of the best, okay? And if I'm given another 4 years, I will be the best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire. So everybody, including the 2 of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life, I'd grow up and I'd see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business. Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look, the fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about, he will increase the taxes on middle-class people. I said I'd never raise a tax on anybody making less than $400,000. I did.
That's a big fat lie.
It's 10% tax. Everything.
You just raised it on the business owners and they fired everybody.
Cost the average American $2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference in food, and all the things that were important. Number two, he's in a situation where he talks about how he is raised. He's somehow helped the middle class. Middle class have been devastated by you. Now you want a new tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country. You had the largest deficit of any president in American history, number one. Number two, you have not, in fact, made any contact, any progress with China. We are the lowest.
You're the president, you stupid.
Since 2010.
Thank you, President Biden.
You lost.
Thank you, President Biden. Let's discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans that both of you have made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis. And for both of you, the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up. Under your term, it went up. Under your term, it has gone up. Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year, primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China. So I think there's a free deal with him, something. But do you notice he never took out the tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come, but he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the worst situation with China. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Jake, we were doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along. We had the 2.5, almost 3 years of like nobody's ever had before, any country, in every way. And then we had to get tough. And it was the drugs pouring across the border it started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot, and we were getting very low numbers, very, very low numbers. Then he came along. The numbers, have you seen the numbers now? It's not only the 18 million people that I believe is even low, because the gotaways, they don't even talk about gotaways. But the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming across our border, the worst thing I've ever seen, at numbers that nobody's ever seen under him because the border's so bad. But the number of drugs coming across our border now is the largest we've ever had by far.
President Trump, thank you. President Biden?
Fentanyl and the byproducts of fentanyl went down for a while. And I wanted to make sure we use the machinery that can detect fentanyl, these big machines that roll over everything that comes across the border. And it costs a lot of money. That was part
How's
of
that
this
working
deal.
out for you?
It's bipartisan deal. More fentanyl machines, more being able to detect drugs, more numbers of agents, more numbers of all the people at the border. And when we had that deal done, he called his Republican colleagues, said, "Don't do it. It's going to hurt me politically." No, he never argued it's not a good bill. It's a really good bill. We need those machines. We need those machines. And we're coming down very hard in every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl. And Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have the technology to be able to put it together. That's what we have to do. We need those machines.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, and again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now struggling to get the treatment they need.
Well, this does pertain to it. He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done, hard negotiations with Mexico, and I got it all for nothing. It's just like when you have a hostage. We always pay $6 billion for a hostage. Every time we say a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy. And he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I take office, I said by literally As soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago, but Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time. We had 2 cases where he paid $6 billion for 5 people. I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
Let's turn to concerns that voters have about each of you. President Biden, you would be 86 at the end of your second term. How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
Well, first of all, I spent half my career being criticized being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate, and now I'm the oldest. This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. I think that this, look at the record, look at what I've done. Look, I've turned around the horrible situation he left me. As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing. By the way, we brought off a lot of people. Well, the whole idea of computer chips. We used to have 40% of the market. We invented those chips, and we lost it because he was sending people to find the cheapest jobs overseas and to bring home a product. So I went.
He's
I went to
metabolizing the
South Korea.
speed.
I convinced
Getting out of the
Samsung
system
to
again.
invest billions of dollars here in the United States, and they're. Guess what? Those fabs they call that to build these chips, those fabs pay over $100,000. You don't need a college degree for them. And there's billions, about $40 billion already being invested and being built right now in the United States, creating significant jobs for
What is he
Americans
talking about?
from all over
I
the
have
world.
no clue he's talking
President
about.
Biden,
No
you
one
have
knows.
40 seconds left. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would. The idea that somehow we are this failing
Why does he
country.
get to add something?
I've heard a president talk like this before. We're the envy of the world. Like, name me a single major country president wouldn't trade places with the United States of America for all our problems and all our opportunities.
Look at it.
We're the most progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world. We're a country in the world who keeps our word, and everybody trusts us. All of our allies and our those who he coddles up to, from Kim Jong-un, who he sends love letters to, and Putin, etc. They don't want to
love
screw around.
letters. Love
Thank
letters.
you.
What
Former
in the
President
hell?
Trump, to follow up, you would
eyes,
be
bro.
82 at the end of your second term.
He
What do
is
you
not
say to
well.
voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took
didn't
none. I'd like to
refuse.
see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like, go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match.
We'll talk
He
about
can't hit a
golf.
ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 23.
What?
He said 2000.
Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's it. Anyway, just take a look at what he said.
What is that got to do?
Take a look at what he
What
is.
is?
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, got into a 6. And by the way, I told you before, I carry your own bag.
So much to laugh
do
so
it.
bad.
He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was at 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I had, how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's, President Trump, we're going to turn
Let's not act like children.
to a specific concern that voters have about you. Will you pledge tonight that once all legal challenges have been exhausted, that you will accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
There they go.
You will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable.
Well, I shouldn't have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to. And I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president, because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment, because I wouldn't have been his political opponent, because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation.
Make this country
And we're a
great.
failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
You want a World War III, let him follow and win, and let Putin say, do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want. There's a thing called Article 5. An attack on one is attack on all, and required response. The idea, I can't think of a single major leader in the world who wouldn't trade places with the job I've done and what they've done.
Oh my
Because
God.
we are a powerful nation. We have wonderful people. It's because of the people, not me. It's because of the American people. They're capable of anything, and they step up when they're needed. And right now, we're needed. We're needed to protect the world because of our own safety is at stake. And again, you want to have a war, just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border. Then you have a war.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might.
Yes.
Russia,
Trump
they took a
already
lot of
answered that
land from
question.
Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it. He's not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. And, you asked me a question before, would you do this with, he's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia, because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked.
President Trump, the question was, will you accept the results of the
He already
election,
answered the question.
regardless of who wins? Yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election.
What?
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
And everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very happy to be someplace else, in a nice location someplace. And again, no indictments, no political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level because the people understand it.
Well, let's see what your numbers are when this election is over. Let's see. You're a
Yeah,
whiner.
we'll see. All right.
You lost the first time. You continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or local, none. But you continue to provoke this lie about somehow there's all this misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all. And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea, if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
We'll be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate, live from Georgia.
This has been a bloodbath, everyone. Why are we talking about Michael Jackson?
We'll take that down.
Michael Jackson was a great guy, very great dancer.
Don't go after Michael. Let's not go after Michael now. Come on now.
Dancer, great music. He said, "Beat it."
All right.
All right, let's get to the commentary because we have limited time.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Liddell, since you didn't get to talk.
Yeah, let's hear what Liddell has to say.
Okay. If you are voting for Joe Biden after this bloodbath, guys, check your something. You may have COVID.
He said you may have COVID.
This is really bad. Like this is
terrible.
Trump has won every round, and I'm talking about this. Not barely. He has destroyed this man.
Yep.
This is bad. It's time to sub in Gavin Newsom, y'all.
Yeah.
But
where's the spicy surrogate?
But he's not going to step aside, guys, because the most powerful person in DC is Hunter Biden. He ain't going nowhere at all. No, sir. And to be honest with you, real quick, if I was Democrats, I would let him lose.
Yes.
I would let him lose. I sure would.
I was about to say the DNC has to be convening right now and going, yeah, we got to get somebody else in here. This ain't going to work. They have to be really, they're not dumb. They're not dumb because they're going to say we're going to go to jail for elder abuse at this point.
I will say, I think you guys mentioned Trump, giving good answers. I think he's very stoic. Like, with Hillary, he was a lot more like fiery, jokey, whatever, but still honest. But he's very stoic. Like he knows, like he was saying, like Soonie was saying earlier, he goes straight to the facts. He's not trying to do it like this, defense mode. He's playing offense. Like he knows what to say, get the facts out there. He wants to win. Like Trump is playing to win.
Before you came on, Julius, Liddell called that exactly. Like he said that was going to happen and he called it to the T. And I agree. He is very composed. I think this whole muting the mic thing should be carried on to future debates because I actually appreciate it. I mean, aside from the fact that when they unmute Biden, we don't know what he's saying, but
It could be a slippery slope later on if they could change just like this. Media can change so fast with the narratives and whatnot. So, also I'm going to mention too about the moderation going on. I think the reason why CNN is asking the hard questions, the mainstream media was losing ratings. They were going into the gutter, and so now they're trying to be moderate and kind of be on the side of the people versus giving out a certain narrative, but I think that if, let's say Trump wins, I think it might change back to Trump said this and that spin again. We'll see, but I think now they're trying to be moderate to get those viewerships back.
Yeah.
Red pill. If you want to go 2016 Trump, that's going to lose. That is going to lose. You're trying to get the independents and the white women and the black women. You're trying to get them. They want to feel. Again, the key word is feel that you're in control. They don't care about facts. It's about feelings. Yeah. Please, y'all. Strategy.
I like Trump's approach because the people who are watching are going to be like, wow, I'm actually listening to Trump versus just like he's just saying crazy things.
Agreed.
Biden,
we're back, guys.
Significant progress from the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said Nobody even making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes, and will not. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit. Number one, he's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America. What I did, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior all along. It's happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credits people have for child care. I'm going to make sure we do something about what we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems for people
want to
across the
afford
country.
gas and groceries.
We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. All he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like, even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate. Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett starts now on CNN.
Oh, man. Here we go.
So we've been watching the wrap-up there of the debate. Former President Trump making his closing statement, wrapping up the first presidential debate hosted by CNN, with Mr. Trump facing off against President Biden.
The two men debated for about an hour and 40 minutes or so and clashed repeatedly on the major topics of the day, including economy, abortion, immigration, childcare, Social Security, and of course, the key issue, the competence of both men, both one of the oldest presidents in history, if elected.
The candidates also traded several personal attacks. We heard about golf scores, among other things. It was a very, very contentious debate. Let's bring in Meet the Press moderator, Kristen Welker, and in the debate spin room, senior Washington correspondent Hallie Jackson. And Kristen, let me begin with you. What are the headlines being written right now about this debate?
Let's see these headlines.
Well, Lester and Savannah, there's no way to sugarcoat this. This night got off to a tough start for President Biden. He delivered a performance that was at times halting. At times, he seemed to lose his train of thought. At times, he started to talk about one topic, for example, the economy, and then shifted to Afghanistan, which gave former President Trump an opening. And the topic of abortion, his strongest topic coming into tonight, he raised the issue of immigration, which gave former President Trump an opening. As the night progressed, he did begin to pick up steam. He had some really strong moments on the issues of what his administration, for example, has done for veterans. But zooming out, this was a debate about performance. This was a debate about allaying Americans' concerns about his ability to serve another 4 years. And I and a number of reporters at NBC News have heard from a range of Democrats who have said that they are concerned by tonight's debate. One telling me of this race, quote, this is effectively over. This person predicting, look, Democrats are still going to stand by Biden, despite the fact that you do have some Democrats tonight wondering if that will be the case moving forward. But there has been some tough language that people have been reaching out to offer in terms of the performance that they saw tonight from President Biden. It is also important to note, former President Trump unleashed a torrent at times of misinformation, some of which President Biden fact-checked, some of which went unanswered.
Damn thing.
You have to wonder if the format of this debate, the fact that the mics were muted, may have played a role in this. But again, a slow start to this debate for President Biden. He did pick up steam. We'll have to see how people play it.
Let's go to Hallie Jackson, who's in the spin room down in Atlanta. And I mean, here's a race that in some ways was essentially tied, perhaps, Donald Trump in the most of the national polls and swing state polls going into it had a lead in most of them. The Biden campaign wanted and needed a compelling performance from their candidate. Did they get it?
If a voter, Savannah, was tuning in, looking to see about concerns being alleviated about President Biden's age or strength or capability for office, it is not at all clear that that is what they got from this performance by President Biden tonight, which was shaky. It was a shaky start, wooden at times, meandering at times. I will tell you that in about the back half of the debate, maybe the latter third of the debate, I heard from a Democratic lawmaker, a member of Congress who has been a strong supporter of President Biden's, who suggested the possibility, Savannah, of perhaps an open convention or replacing President Biden on the ticket. I will tell you, it has all been potentially impossible for that to actually happen. But the fact that that is even being raised, the fact that that is even a shadow now hanging over the debate performance for President Biden is at minimum a headache for the Biden campaign moving into the next stretch of this campaign ahead of the Republican convention in the next couple weeks. And at worst, potentially something that will dog them now for months, given what we have seen from voters in polling consistently, which is, yes, concern about President Biden's age. Now, all of that said, I'm in the spin room, and they call it the spin room for a reason, Savannah. It is because you have surrogates here for both campaigns. And of course, the Biden campaign out here trying to make the case that their candidates did well. And I will tell you what some of the early spin is now from Team Biden, suggesting that former President Trump's answer, for example, on January 6th, was not a good one, that people are turned off by his insults, by his attacks on President Biden here. But remember the sort of social economy that we're in right now, Savannah and Lester, this idea that these sort of clippable, shareable moments are what people tend to see. If they're not watching tonight, then perhaps the next day or the day after. And there are some moments here that the Biden campaign is going to find tough to swallow based on the president's performance tonight.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the spin room and surrogates, we want to do that right now and go to Biden campaign national co-chair, former Mayor Mitch Landrieu. And Mr. Mayor, I mean, let's just put a fine point on it. Was this the commanding performance from your candidate you hope to see?
Well, I thought it was a really bare knuckles brawl. I think they're right. The president started off slow, but then he came back. But the most compelling thing about tonight that you were right about more than you're right about anything else is that when Donald Trump was speaking, he was lying. And the fact that there was no fact checking is
All right.
There we go. Who was untethered from the truth. He doubled down on the fact that January 6th really wasn't a big deal. He doubled down on the fact that he thought those folks were patriots.
Well, you know what? While they're spinning narratives, I think it's only right for us to show specific facts that Donald Trump didn't incite an insurrection. In fact, here's the video of him telling people to go home after things happen.
January 6th, the erection.
You heard? We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel, but go home and go home in peace.
Yeah, I remember that.
What
too.
more needs to be said?
What more do you need
What
to see?
more? What
All they-
more? I'm going to leave this in the background, but we're going to talk. What
they
more
have
needs
is-
to be done?
Yeah, all they have is January 6th. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing is that, see, Trump was so stoic that they had nothing against him. So they have to say January 6th because he said he did things. And you're like, he didn't do anything, though. We can give you evidence on top of evidence, just like mountains of evidence that nothing happened. But that's all they use is January 6th against him because everything else that he said he did, he did.
Yep.
The economy wasn't that
Yeah.
bad.
Yep.
Even with abortion, some people like his stance on that. Like he's very fair and balanced on what he wants to do with the country, and the
Yep.
way he stood his ground on that, and not just played the me card. I mean, he did, but not in the way where it's like childish. He was very mature about all of his answers. So the media has
Was.
nothing to run with it. They have nothing to push back against. Only January 6th, and that's
Only
it.
bingo.
Well, that and
Bingo.
Stormy Daniels, and I would show you the Stormy Daniels clip of her admitting it was not any type of rape. But unfortunately, YouTube made me delete it because they were going to cancel or take down my entire channel if I didn't get rid of that
That's-
video. So
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But
we have some
you
more
guys can
fact
go watch
checks. I'm
the
sorry, go
Stormy
ahead.
Daniels documentary. I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's her documentary, and she admits in there she willingly slept with Trump or did stuff with Trump, whatever.
Willingly.
Yeah, willingly.
We have another fact check though. Biden and CNN and all these MSN, DNC, NBC, they're all going to spin a narrative where they said Trump lied. But we have the independent fact checkers that already told the truth about this story. Now, when Trump said that Biden is spending millions of dollars to put migrant families into fancy hotels, Biden said that's a lie. But actually, the fact checkers say that it's true. The Biden administration is spending $86.9 billion to house migrant families in hotels after they cross the U.S.-Mexican border.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I sent this to someone who's like very apolitical, doesn't really participate, and I'm like, hey, just watch this. He himself said, yo, I'm fact checking as I'm watching this, and Biden is getting his ass tore out the frame.
Mm-hmm.
This is an apolitical person. So Trump being stoic worked in his benefit because you know what? All they can do is talk about January 6th. What's that going to force people to do? Go look into January 6th. You might even have people tuning into more independent journalists that are telling you what actually happened on January 6th. Nancy Pelosi shot herself in the foot. She claimed responsibility for January 6th.
Matter of fact, you can even go on Twitter and just type in keyword January 6th. You get a gang of videos of people talking about the same thing. Nancy Pelosi, all the videos that, whether you like Mike Johnson or not, they show all the videos from what happened. It's all out there. So it's not like people can't find this.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Also, another fact check, and this was brought up during the show. Biden was quoted saying, "But the Border Patrol endorsed my position."
Didn't
In
happen.
addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation. The Border Patrol live tweeted and said, "quote To be clear, we never have and never will endorse Biden." You
Yep.
can go look at the Border Patrol page.
It's right there. Go
That's
check
the
it out
union.
here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it up for y'all. 'Cause as soon as I seen it, you know
Pull
what I
that thing
did?
up. Pull that
Clip.
thing up.
Look, what does it say? To be clear, we never have and never will endorse Biden. You want to
it say,
talk
what it
about
say?
people
There we go.
lying? CNN is full of shit, man.
Mhm.
If you can't see, and I'm talking about the right and the left, I'm not just hyper focusing on the left. These news organizations are not worth shit. You need to go do your own research, go look into these things, and maybe tap in with the people that they're saying are endorsing them. Now, aren't you so happy for social media? You know, people hate social media, but I'm actually very happy that we have access to these companies so we get to hear what they really think.
Correct.
Shout out to the Border Patrol for sticking on Twitter.
There you go, Border Patrol. Do your thug this.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Soonie, so we discussed a conspiracy theory at the beginning of the show. Does Biden have a earpiece in? And thank you to social media. They're picking up on this little.
Ooh, run it back, run it back, run it back.
What are you talking about? I don't see that.
He's messing with his ear right here.
Sounds like he's trying to listen too.
Well,
Yeah, he did. He did a lot of this endless staring. I mean, obviously you can't see anything, but I said it's probably something very tiny. You know, he's messing with his ear because it's irritating him, and he's paying attention. They're like, Joe, focus. We'll give you your treats after the commercial break. Okay.
Obama. Oh, Joe, wake up, Joe.
Joe, I'm gonna do you like I did that paddleboarder if you don't get this right.
Oh my gosh. Another egregious claim that Biden made was that this is what he said verbatim. Biden says that he's the only president of the 20th century who has had no American troops dead since he's been president. And I think that he's forgot about the 13 service members that were killed in that attack in Kabul during this catastrophic, most disgusting pullout. What are you talking about? Why is CNN not hyper focusing on the fact that he just straight lied? You just told a lie.
Yeah.
Man, bro, if I hear any liberal, no matter what platform,
Mitch,
saying that, man, I'm still voting for Joe after this performance, y'all.
Yeah, man.
Like, this is bad. Let me ask you this question for the serious-minded people. Would you be okay with Joe making decisions based on your stock market portfolio?
Hell no.
How about your real estate portfolio?
I wouldn't even let him pick my socks.
Mutual funds? but you were okay with him making the decisions to run the damn country. What is this?
Right.
This is come on, y'all. We gotta call a spade a spade. This man can't run no damn country. What is this, man? Stop playing this game. And this is elder abuse. Dr. Jill,
elder abuse.
Baby, we love you, baby girl. No problem. It's time. Let it go.
Let it go.
Come on, y'all. Man, do the
let it go. Let it go.
Oh, man, this is ridiculous, bro. This guy can't run no damn country. Let's stop this. This is not. Now I see why his schedule. He has one damn meeting a damn day. One.
But Adele, you gotta understand. I was actually doing great for the country. I was with everything. Everything Trump said was a thing lied.
We gotta have a serious conversation. This is if you can't trust Joe Biden to make decisions based on anything financial or even life decisions, and you vote for this mess, man, something is wrong with you.
Listen, Liddell, I'm sure Mitch is tying the laces on his tap shoes as we speak. Okay?
Wait, don't make me get up and tap dance.
Yeah, Mitch is tying. He's tying the laces on his tap shoes.
Crazy, though.
This was bad, man.
That footwork was crazy. No, it's funny. I actually watched that video like 5 times. It was just funny. I was like, this is hella funny, yo.
Dude, how about when Biden said he went to France and spoke to the D-Day veterans? That was funny.
Huh?
Man.
He didn't say that, did he?
Yeah,
yes,
he did.
He did.
Because remember, that's when he was accusing
did.
Trump of saying whatever he said to that general, remember? And Trump was like, what are you talking about?
I didn't say that, bro.
He probably did. He probably hallucinated him and said, I see him over there. Like, Joe, those are birds. Those are birds, Joe.
Oh, sorry,
right? He probably did speak to him. He said, I see him over there. No, Joe, those are birds.
Yeah.
Those are birds, Joe.
Birds. We got an instant replay. We're going to treat this like sports real quick. This is an instant replay.
Okay.
You guys let me know what you think about this play. and you let me know what the country should be thinking, because we got folks that politically gangbang and they're selecting teams. Did this team score a touchdown, or did they fumble and then fumble again and then fumble some more?
Making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. Send me this clip. I'm gonna make a response to this clip and I'm gonna say this to look in the camera. If you trust that to make decisions concerning your life,
Somebody come and look at this.
look at this. Look at this. Come on, for real. Come on. Hey, Soonie, find that one of the muscle guy going, brother, that one right there. That's right there. Come on, what's that? What's that, brother?
What's that?
That's called dementia.
What's that, brother?
That's dementia. Stop it, man. We gotta stop this.
Man.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Was this everything
man.
you guys imagined?
It really was.
This was everything I imagined. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't expect Trump to come out and like 2016 Trump. I think anybody expecting that, come on now. Let's be realistic.
Come on, Trump.
What I thought was going to happen was I thought that it was going to be the media kind of giving Biden all the soft questions and kind of treating Trump like, you're going to this, you're going to that, you're going to this. And Trump, like, they backed Trump into a corner. That's what I thought was going to happen. But I think they did ask pretty fair questions, much as we don't like the media. They asked pretty fair questions on both sides. And like I said, Trump came with the facts. I mean, he came with what he did, his accomplishments. Like, he basically did the compare and contrast the entire time. And so, and all Biden had was just, you're a liar, you're a liar. And he really had nothing. Like, if you notice, Biden, he says he did things, but there's always contradictions to the things he did. Like, for example, they said that he had like low black unemployment, but then yet there are still black people affected by his economy. So there's always a contrast to his so-called accomplishments. Whereas Trump says, I did this, and this. That's why the media can't really push back against it. All they have is Stormy Daniels, January 6th, maybe abortion. Like, that's it.
I mean, I think this was light work for Trump. I mean, I don't even think Trump broke a sweat during this debate.
Not at all.
This was like a regular day for Trump. Okay. He was like, I didn't even have to prepare. He's like, I could have had a V8.
Hey, Trump, I got one line for you, baby.
No, you should do. You should have Trump speaking, but then on the bottom half, have Soonie's footwork.
That would be epic.
Every time like Biden talks, it's just like point to Trump, and it's like top half, the bottom half of the footwork.
Yeah.
Kendrick's instrumental, they're not like us. They're not like us.
I mean, whoever was in charge of preparing Biden, juicing Biden, they're getting their pink slip as we speak. Okay.
Yo. I want y'all to see the ineptitude of this preparation. 16 people, 7 days, 3 times a day, 90-day debating, and you got that shit.
Yeah.
And if you're okay with that type of preparation, you deserve calamity and being broke. Pay higher taxes, high on everything. I don't hear no complaining, nothing, because it's showing you dumbassness, and you're cool with dumbassness. It's all good.
Yeah.
So be a dumbass.
Yep.
Oh, can I bring up something real quick?
Sure.
Someone in the comments earlier said when they try to bring up the Stormy Daniels thing, Trump should have said, "Oh, you took a shower with Ashley Biden." I'm glad Trump didn't go that route, because that would have made him look childish. Like, he just well, you did this, like. I'm glad he didn't do that, because by him doing that, he's falling for that trap to look immature versus to be mature about what he wants to convey to the American people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He addressed it. I think he said, I did not have sex with a porn star. That's what he said.
He
He
did.
addressed
I
it,
did
and
not
that was
have
it.
sex with that porn star.
Yeah.
Never did it. Never happened.
Which they didn't have sex. She even said that. She said he came out
Totally
like,
agreed.
was flirty with her, and she was just like, whatever. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he handled that really well. I'm glad he didn't go any further with that.
Well, here's another fact check. Biden said that inflation did not happen under his presidency. I know you guys remember that. This is very early on in the debate.
Oh my.
3 of his biggest spending plans are worth $6 trillion. Okay. We are still sending billions upon billions to foreign countries to fund war.
Okay. So let's. You're right, Soonie. Facts and data, what you just spit. Let's go a little deeper. Can we do that? Grab a cup of coffee, all right, and get your whiteboard out. When Trump left office, was it January 2021? Am I right? Yeah. Make sure I got my dates right. 2021. Biden walked in at a 1.4. I think it's 1.4 inflation rate, right? 1.4. Now watch this, y'all. Again, I love facts and data. What actually passed in 2022? Was it the Inflation Production Act? Or was it that CHIP Act garbage? One of the two. And what happened was when one of those bills passed, right? What happened 2-3 months after that? 9% inflationary rate. 9%. So last time I checked, Trump left in 2021, and in the 6, 7, 8, 9% happened in 2022.
Yes.
Who's president then? Who president then?
Biden.
That's facts. Date numbers. I know some of y'all you're allergic to numbers and data. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be good.
Another funny fact check. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Julius.
They just keep
Go
coming.
ahead.
Another funny fact check was Biden saying that he is the second youngest person in U.S. history of Congress to be elected, and he's not. All right. Maxwell Frost of Florida, who's a Democrat on your own team, is 25 years old, and he was elected. Before then, the youngest person was Madison Cawthorn, both at the age of 25. Joe Biden got elected when he was 30.
Dang.
Where is his name? Like, who told him to say these things? Or did this just naturally come to him? This is what I'm starting to wonder.
Just naturally came to him. Just naturally came to him. He said, I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make it up. It's gonna be me. I'm gonna make it up.
30 years old.
So
is the second youngest.
how long till the 25th Amendment is enacted? What do you think?
How long?
Yeah.
It never will. Again,
They're not
I'm trying to tell y'all, no, sir.
Yeah. They're not going to enact the 25th Amendment. No.
Hell.
I think that would show weakness because Democrats are in solidarity and lockstep with everything.
Wait.
They're not going to do that.
That would show weakness.
on their front, yes.
Show weakness.
Sure, the economy should show that they're weak, right? Joe Biden's performance tonight should show that they're weak because they're willing to put up a brain dead president. But them not being in unison, that is their trademark. They're in unison with everything. And I think if they openly come out against him, you can have comments to say, hey, I'm concerned. He's getting old. I'm concerned. That's different. But if you were to come out and say, absolutely not, 25th Amendment, let's go. I think that would really shake some shit up and people would begin to question a lot of things. So I don't see Democrats using the 25th Amendment. I see Democrats using the excuse of him being ill for him to not be a viable candidate.
That wouldn't fall, but doesn't that fall under the 25th Amendment?
No.
That's mental.
It did.
Mental.
That's mental.
I thought it was mental and health related. Physical health. Okay.
No. The Democrats are not going to do anything that's going to wound them politically, because that's their ultimate authority. So if they want to maintain a certain projection, they're the wisest thing is for him to lose. They should lose, and they raised all this money. They can begin to fund their shock troops, which is what they do, cause more chaos. Again, more money flows into the CNNs and the MSNBCs and the ABCs and the NBC, all that stuff. It rolls in, and after 4 years, they are done with Trump.
Whoa. Breaking news, guys. This is Van Jones of CNN calls for Biden to pull out of the presidential race.
Wow. Well,
so
Van
like
Jones
I said,
Well,
he's gonna be replaced for
all the
sure.
Black Democrats will
Can't wait for the View tomorrow.
You can't wait for the View. You know what? You
Oh.
got to grab those clips because I can't watch that
cannot
shit.
wait. I cannot wait.
I hate the View, man.
Yeah.
They're so bad, man.
They give the best material though.
They suck so
Yeah.
bad.
Worst show, best material. Yeah,
Ever, man. They are so bad, man.
Well, I mean,
Just laughable.
Not to like state the obvious, but they're all controlled. They have to spin to get people to think that somehow Joe Biden didn't do so bad. Like, not people said Trump's not that bad. They're trying to convince people that Biden's not that bad.
He was horrible. Biden was incoherent. Biden would get lost in what he was talking about.
I thought
He
he
would
was sick
take
at one point.
jabs. He body shamed Trump. I screen recorded that and posted it. Why are you body shaming? What are you doing?
Oh, what I was gonna say was that you guys are coming with the facts. I mean, if you guys want to, you guys should clip that and put those facts online to your pages so people can see like Biden said this, but you guys fact checked it, like a compare it. You know what I mean? That way people can know. Because CNN might say, "Well, yeah, Biden said this." However, but then you guys can counter that and be like, "Well, actually, he said this, but check this out. He actually really
Kind of
did
like
lie."
this right here, right? Where Joe Biden says, I never disrespected the troops when he was on stage. Now, by the way, this video cannot be found on the internet. Just want you guys to know this.
But it can be found on Twitter.
You could probably find it on Twitter. He said, clap, you stupid bastards. He did say that. Now, the fact checkers say that this is half true. This is how they spin a narrative. Biden made the comment, but appeared, this is conjecture, but appeared to be trying to make a joke. You're calling them stupid bastards and it's a joke. But if Trump says losers and pathetic, it's a serious thing.
Yeah.
Even though Trump didn't say it and 19 people have corroborated the story that he didn't say it, we have him on video saying, clap, you stupid bastards. And it's a joke.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, I remember when USA Today actually did fact check Trump not saying that. Like, you know how USA Today, they tell you what the claim was.
Yeah.
You read the actual verdict. There is no video. There's no video evidence that Trump ever said that. And then supposedly the guy he fired, or his general, was trying to say he did say it. In my opinion, at that time, I think he just didn't like Trump and then just made it up for the sake of making it up. Because there was no evidence whatsoever. But Biden literally said, "Well, clap for that, you stupid bastards." And
he really did.
Hey, it's a joke.
I was kidding. It was a joke. Biden also lied when he said he would never make such disgusting comments about Americans. When he said that people like Mo, people like in the comment section here, any MAGA Republican or anybody they deem a MAGA Republican is a threat to the very foundations of America. The DHS has put out several bulletins to label these people domestic terrorists. In fact, people in our own Congress have labeled them domestic terrorists, one of them being Ted Cruz. He came out and said that like an idiot. Democrats do nothing but call them deplorables, domestic terrorists, and we need to put them in re-education camps. What are you talking about? This is, look, I pulled every single one of these fact checks up in less than 2 seconds. It takes that long for you to go see if he actually said what he said and if what he's saying is true. Joe Biden lied throughout the entire, I'm not even kidding you. If he were to tell the truth, I would say it. He lied throughout this entire debate. There was not one factual thing that this guy said.
Man, even libs of TikTok are going after him.
He's horrible.
Oh my God. I'm just looking at his name is trending, but like I can't find one person saying something positive about him.
Yeah. There's nothing positive to say. Joe, I mean, Joe Biden was talking like mumbles from Dick Tracy. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why Trump was like, I didn't catch what he said. I didn't hear him. Didn't hear what he said. He sounded incoherent. Very incoherent.
He's like, I don't even know what he said. I can't even understand him.
And then libs of TikToks, they have a clip here, but they said Biden claims his son died in Iraq, and they said his son
No, he
literally died
didn't.
of cancer years after finishing his service.
Yes, that's why Liddell said, "Here we go, here we go."
Wow. Oh
He
man, I didn't
lies.
catch that.
And watch, Mitch. Wait till Mitch gets online and say all presidents lie. I'm gonna put me tap dancing on everybody. Anybody who sits and lies and you trying to run an interference for Joe Biden, I'm just gonna put my feet in the equation. If I'm live, the camera's going down to the ground and I'm going to dance while you're tap dancing.
Hey,
People are lying.
Speaking of which, while we have still 193 people watching, first of all, thank you guys so much. I wanted to say thank you earlier when we had more people on, but thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to actually be back tomorrow. So once all the dust has settled and all the memes have come out and all the extra, little tidbits of everything has come out, we're going to have a show tomorrow. We have our normal shows on Friday, and we'll be talking about this more, kind of wrapping up our thoughts on the debate and talking about our normal crazy stuff that we always talk about as well.
Real quick, shout out to Andy Signor, that tweet right there. I watch Andy Signor. He's a little moderate, kind of on the liberal side, but even he can see that. Obviously, I'm not saying that like Trump's the guy, but even he can see that Trump clearly was pretty decent tonight. Like Trump's not that bad to these people now. Like all the people that hated him before, now he's not that bad.
Yep.
That's why you got Amber Rose supporting him. Like you got people like that who are now like, oh well, hey, because they all didn't like him.
Yeah,
they clowned this man on Twitter.
They're clowning him.
Like
the amount of memes.
He looked like that the entire night.
So he said,
"Go in the tunnel."
Somebody said, "What in the blue hell is this?" I honestly did not expect President Joe Biden to be this massively disastrous. If this was a boxing match, they would have stopped the fight by now. He looks and sounds every bit of 81-year-old. Disastrous.
Yeah.
Disastrous.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm glad Trump accepted the terms. Thank you for accepting the terms, because you still beat the shit out of this man with no one there, with being moderated, muted, okay? Not allowed to respond to certain things while they let Biden respond to certain things, and you won. I'm still not voting for him because he's extremely pro-faggot, and it's just not going down for me. He's pro-abortion. I don't rock with that. But if you ask me who I'm going to be telling Americans to vote for, you need to go vote for Donald Trump. This is your best option. If you don't want this country to go down the drain, and you want to have some money in your pockets, and you want gas to go back down to $1.97, because that's what it was at its lowest, and you want to be able to afford groceries, you better take your ass to the voting booth and vote like a man. That needs to be the ongoing trending hashtag at this point on. Don't go and vote like a woman. Go vote like a man, and vote for your family's best interests and yours.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to say this.
Leave feelings at the house.
Yes.
I'm going to say this. Meet up, puppy. You did so good. Okay. I'm so proud of you.
Wow.
I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you, baby. You did so good. You kept your composure. Okay. You kept it together. This was old. This was old Trump. Okay. And I was happy to see it. I put this MAGA hat back on my head because I'm proud. Okay. I'm proud to be voting for you. It has never wavered. It has never wavered, but it ain't wavering now. Okay. It ain't wavering. And I don't care if Amber Rose has a MAGA hat on. I'm interested in the people who aren't famous that I'm looking at online going, yeah, you know what? It's about time for me to change my vote.
Look at these old men fighting.
I want to point out, somebody in the comments, this guy LL Lewis said nobody win this, to be honest. I mean, to be
He's
objective.
being contrarian.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, yeah. Well, objectively, Well, I was going to say objectively, yeah. I mean, Trump did a good job. I mean, whether you like him or not, he did a good job. He stuck to his guns. He made sure to lay the facts down. He didn't allow himself to get overly defensive. He was playing the offense. Like he did a good
That's
job.
correct.
Yep,
that's correct, man. Hey, it's okay to give Trump some credit, y'all. It's all right.
Yes.
It's all right.
man.
And Trump's team, please let him know he did good. And if you've got money to donate to Trump and that's what you normally do, let the donations show Trump that he did good tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep it on that
Hey,
level, buddy.
Can I just say this last little thing too? I have my disagreements with Trump. I do, and things I don't like, but I'm not going to get into all that. But I will say that when I do see him, be super chill, like for example, that video with him and Logan Paul, like to be honest, that's a wholesome video. Whether you like
Yeah.
Logan Paul or like
That was a
Trump or
great
not,
interview.
it was cool. Like the way he like him and did the whole like the face off thing, like laughing, like that's like watching the father with his son. You
Yeah.
don't see Biden do that. And that's one thing I can appreciate about Trump. He has a lot of personality. Whether I disagree with him or not, he has personality. Like he brings his A game, even though in his age now, he's not declining the way Joe Biden is. Like Joe Biden is just done. Stick a fork in him. He's done. But with Trump, he gives that father-like personality, which is why the people really like him. So
Yep. Soonie, we're gonna have to show these. We're gonna have to have a meme, a little meme slot because I know by tomorrow, man, the memers are gonna be hard at work all night.
You guys should do a whole live stream of just memes of Trump.
Look at this. The rest of the world watching the U.S.
They're like, bring around the roses.
David J. Harris, man, he's about to capitalize. Y'all are about to see
Oh,
David
man.
up there selling T-shirts
Hey,
on an
man.
airplane, crying his eyes out.
Let David have it tonight. Let him have it, y'all. Let him have it. It's gonna be all right.
David J. Harris, because I think he's always doing his little Trump hat, turning around
Liddell.
like this.
Liddell, you travel more than any of
Still
us,
do that?
okay?
Yeah.
You travel more than any of us, Liddell. I need to see you pulling a David J. Harris with one of Soonie's T-shirts on an airplane, please.
Okay, that's fine with me. I don't mind
Yeah.
it at all. Sure.
And we need you to live stream it just like he does.
That
No problem.
was funny though. Back in the day when he used to get in the airplane and turn his hat backwards, that was
Yes.
funny at the time. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Man.
So my dad, this is the person I debate with all the time about
Oh, John.
Republicans and Democrats, right?
Oh, what's your dad
My
say?
dad hits me up, and I can already tell. Look, he's already laughing. You hear him?
Oh man, here we go. Here we go.
John.
Dad, tell us
Yes,
what. Okay,
yes.
you already know what I'm gonna say, but I don't know what you're gonna say. What? Give me your honest assessment of this debate.
I think it's a joke. One, I think it's a shit show, and United States has now become full reality TV. Pretty much. I think neither one of these candidates are suitable to run our country.
Huh?
And if I were to take one over the other, it's going to be from a moral point of view, not
And which
from a
one's that gonna
selfish
be?
point of view. Because most people like Trump because of what he can do for them financially.
Okay.
Most
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you have a select few that just don't like another person, so they ain't going to vote for him. Kind of like when Hillary was running, when everybody said, oh, Hillary's going to win hands down, but they didn't realize there was way too many people that hated her and didn't want to vote for her, so they didn't vote at all. So numbnuts won.
Okay, wait, Soonie, can your dad hear me?
What's so scary about this election is, I'm not going to call this man out his name. The former president literally wants to be a dictator.
Oh my
Wants to sit on that
Come on
throne
now.
for the rest of his life until he dies.
Come on.
Wait.
Come
That's
on.
not who
bro.
we
Come
are.
on.
This
Can your
country.
dad hear us?
So no, he can't hear you. So who won this debate tonight, Dad?
I didn't get to see it. I'm actually driving my car.
Oh, come on.
So I'm gonna take your assessment. Who won the debate?
There we go.
Oh, Donald Trump, hands down. Donald Trump won the debate. He crushed Biden. Biden lied for the entire debate. Biden was falling asleep during the debate. Biden couldn't hold his thoughts together during the debate. It's so bad that CNN is even live right now talking about how horrible it went and how they have concerns for his mental capacity. They do.
Okay.
I want you to watch it, though.
But neither one of them are suitable. I mean, Trump looked good tonight.
Come on.
But what about all these other moments when he's out there with his campaign rallying and this dude is still talking about Nancy Pelosi and Nikki Haley? How long
This is the epitome of Trump derangement.
No, Soonie, we can't do this. Either your dad comes on the live stream or we don't do this.
This is the epitome of Trump derangement syndrome.
I mean, full-fledged.
How long is he going to be saying that?
The epitome. Like everybody in the comments should just type epitome.
Come on now. John.
Everybody in the comments type epitome.
Soonie, tell your dad either he comes on this live or this conversation's over.
We gotta stop this. We gotta stop this, y'all.
We can't. Nope. We can't do this no more.
We gotta stop this, but here they go, man.
Okay,
Mo, is it possible for you to put epitome across the screen?
Epitome?
Come on, bro.
Is that what you said? Epitome?
Epitome of Trump derangement syndrome.
Yo, he's still going and he on mute.
Come on, bro. You can't. Come on, man.
Hey,
can I ask a question real fast? Why when the liberal side looks so bad, they always have to say, well, both of them have their senior moments. And we asked a question concerning one person. This was a massacre. What this was bad, man. But when Trump makes a mistake, it's all about Trump. But when Biden makes a mistake, it's always but Trump trash. Sorry, nope, no sir. No.
I find that observation to be extremely accurate, and I think I'm telling you, it never fails. It's almost like a program response mechanism. It's negligence. The moment you say something that just is real, it's obvious. I gotta resort to. But what about? It's all about whataboutisms now. But what about Trump? Her dad over there talking about. But what about Trump? It don't even got a situation.
Yeah, I called out the. What about the Trump though?
Yeah, that's. I'm telling you, and when I'm 30. When I'm 50, I am 100% confident that there will be academic material on Trump derangement syndrome. It will be in DSM-5. It will literally be classified as a mental illness.
This is man. Come on, y'all. This is man. We gotta stop. We gotta stop this, man.
Somebody in the comments talking about Soonie dad on point. See, hey, I'm telling you.
Who said that?
That's Ella. That's Ella Lewis. He's our liberal.
These people. I don't even think it's appropriate to call them by any type of political classification. These are nutcases.
Don't come on our YouTube channel calling our subscribers nutcases now.
No, I'm a guest. I thought you was a free speech absolutist. I'm a free speech absolutist.
No, we are. I'm just joking. No, you can say what you want. We let everybody
you are a peanut case, sir.
Something is wrong with you.
Yeah.
You're not well. You're not well.
Dang, Soonie. Your dad didn't even watch the debate and he's having all
boy
that.
Like me was able to do something like this. Like, come on, dude. Most African Americans don't grow up in a silver spoon situation.
My dude's still talking, man.
That's why you were able to do what you did.
About a bunch of nothing. Still talking. Still talking.
Wait, is that your dad still going on?
Yes. No. But did it happen because of who his dad is? 100%.
He needs
Soonie
some
ain't
milk.
said nothing for 6-7 minutes. She been
He
quiet.
needs some milk. All right.
Hey, tell him he needs to breathe in between sentences.
He needs some milk.
He needs to take a break. Just tell him to pause.
Would you be okay with a candidate that wasn't a part of either one of these families that you say practice nepotism?
Oh my gosh, in a heartbeat.
What if they were Republican? Would you vote for them?
Yeah, and like I said, if they speak into where they're gonna help everybody and not just the top, sure, any one of them.
What you mean by the top, man? What's the top, bro?
You got
see.
Hey,
Whatever her name is, MTG needs to go. They need to put her in jail or something. Somebody needs to take her out. She needs to go.
He needs some
liberal fascists.
Holly needs to go. I think this is his name. Josh Hawley, is that his name?
You want Josh Hawley gone too?
It's liberal
I can't stand
fascists.
that motherfucker. Excuse my language. I can't stand
The left pretends to be so tolerant, yet they are
it.
intolerant.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. Talks down to people. Okay. Boy, you can't make this up.
Byron Donalds.
You're a little fat ass. He needs to go. Get rid of him.
Wow. Notice he ain't said not one liberal yet. Not one.
No, you gotta call him a Democrat, dear. Don't.
Got to, man.
Ask him about AOC.
AOC cool? I got his fuck it out. AOC cool?
Was from the swamp.
Okay, Dad. How about AOC?
I need to get rid of her too.
Okay.
Okay.
What about ask him what about Jamal Bowman?
I can't stand hearing her voice.
How do you feel about Jamal Bowman?
Here he goes.
You know who I think would be a good president?
Answer the question.
Who would be a good president?
Pete Buttigieg.
Dad.
Hey, that was a better deflection than what we seen from Joe Biden tonight.
Why can't we have a gay president?
Man.
Oh my God. I know you're not Sooney's dad. We need a paternity test.
Oh no, that's her father.
I feel like that meme when he's like,
I'm out. I'm praying for your daddy tonight. Sorry, this is
yeah. Everybody
this is
say a
bad,
prayer,
man. Ask about Hakeem Jeff.
Somebody should get in. Somebody should pick him up.
Okay, I got one more question, Dad. One more question, and I gotta go back to the stream. How about Hakeem Jeffries?
I like him. I think he's a little dude is kind of rogue in a bit. I think that's why I like him.
Rogue, okay. He rogue.
He's kind of straight. He kind of reminds me
That's an interesting adjective. Rogue.
A little.
What does that even mean?
Obama, because he don't give a shit.
Okay.
And I think is he married or is he single?
I have no clue. I'll be honest. I don't know.
I think he's single. That's probably why he acts that way.
Okay.
That's why I like him.
Hey,
you're in the car, right?
Wait. Tell your dad I said hey.
Mo said hey. So this what I want you to do.
What's up, Mo?
Because can't hear them, right? And I'm gonna sing you the live, and I want you to hear the commentary.
Well,
I want you to hear the commentary.
Hey, Deontay, man, do it for me.
He don't want to hear my commentary.
Yes, he does.
No, he don't. I'm going to go. No, listen. I'm going to exercise some wisdom. And I'm going to exercise some wisdom.
You can walk in wisdom.
I'm going to walk in wisdom and withhold commentary.
Come on, hey, no, you can walk in wisdom, brother.
I'm going to walk and withhold.
Come on, you can walk.
Hey,
I want to hear it. I want to hear.
See, people don't believe me when I say I am the only open Republican, conservative, right-leaning, whatever you want to call me. I am outnumbered. I was raised by Black Democrats. My dad is a Black Democrat to his core.
For sure.
No doubt.
It's never going to change.
So in other words, your dad is happy with high gas prices, high grocery prices.
He lives in California. He's used to it.
You know what it is? My dad is a very well-off man. So high gas prices, that's an afterthought for him because he's like, I'm just going to fill up my gas tank.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, so I am going to withhold commentary on the majority of what he said because out of respect, I'm going to exercise some wisdom and some restraint. But I guess I would like to explore a little bit further what he meant by if he was limited to these two choices, to this binary option of Trump and Biden, that he would make a decision based on morality and select one of these candidates. I don't understand how. I just need to understand his thought process more, because there's no indication to me that voting for Biden is somehow more qualified as a moral decision. I mean, like, how are you measuring that?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you're an advocate for LGBTQIA rights and you believe that men can be women and women can be men, then somehow you're satisfying the mental palate of let's see, I was gonna say something that would have probably got y'all in trouble. So let's see, I caught myself. But yeah, I mean, just morally speaking, I would say that it's probably more moral to vote for the candidate that's going to reverse these drastic economic conditions that are causing multiple families to have to make decisions at the store between what they're going to eat and drink.
Yeah.
I would say that the more moral decision is voting for the candidate that's going to make living more affordable and sustainable again. I would say that it's more moral to vote for the candidate that's going to, insulate the United States from any
Correct.
further conflict and derail
Right.
many of the wars and the conflicts that are currently taking place that have emerged under the Biden administration. Yeah, I would say that it's more moral to vote for the candidate that's not going to uh, further socialist agendas, like reckless fiscal policy that intensifies inflation, destroys purchasing power of the dollar further, while also promoting increasing taxes, which is literally legalized extortion. Um,
Correct.
so yeah, I don't think there's any argument that can be made that it's a more moral decision to vote for Sleepy Joe. And not only that, but here's where I'll end the morality argument. I think that you have a issue. I think you may be a bit depraved, just a little bit, or a little immoral, right? Because you're willing to uh, continue elder abuse. I mean, everybody that watched that tonight, that man looks like he's on the verge of croaking, literally. Like
Correct.
his wife is shameful.
Yes.
The man looks like he was drifting in and out of reality. Like he was going from being present to in the sunken place.
That was bad. That was bad. That was bad. And I'll say this here. Then I got to cam down. I got to go work out, and then I got to take my mom to the airport in the morning. I don't think I need to add anything else to what Deontay just said. It was eloquently spoken, just fine. I would say this here: if you think it's wise to have that man, President Biden, become the president again for 4 more years, you should be okay with President Biden making all decisions concerning your real estate portfolio, your investment portfolio, everything. If he is not inept to do that for you, he cannot run the country at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
I
I
agree.
if I may, I personally think both candidates were unimpressive. But I think Joe Biden was so horrendous that it took the spotlight off of Donald Trump's lack of vitality and vibrance. Like and now, mind you, I'm not saying that Donald Trump did terrible, but both of
He
them
didn't have to
dodged.
wow us.
Both of them dodged a lot of questions. We didn't get direct answers. There were and me
Disagree with
personally,
that.
I have an appetite for it. And Soonie know this, Liddell know this too. I want to see politicians that are a little bit more cutthroat, just raw and uncut, that don't continue this appealing to the emotions of meritocratic, anti-capitalistic imbeciles. Like for example, the question with what are you gonna do to help people with drug addictions? Well, what do you want me to do? Like people make decisions. They get high on drugs. That's their choice. What do you want me to create some government program and take more tax dollars to try to solve an issue that's moral? I can't stop somebody from doing drugs. That's not my responsibility. That's not government's responsibility. You know what my responsibility is? To ensure that we have a strong border so we minimize the amount of drugs that are being trafficked into the United States. That's my responsibility as president. Nothing else, nothing more.
What I think, what I think,
and Julius, one last thing, then I'm going to calm down real quickly. Thank you. I would say this. I think people have taken the mental that made the decision to say the government is to solve all my problems. No, that's on you. When it comes to drug addiction, what are you doing because you're making the decision to take the drugs? Who's around you counseling you to be able to stop drug addiction? Who's putting you into rehab? The government can't do that. Only you can do that. So we have to get out of this false reality of the government can solve our problems and stop trying to want one man or woman when it comes to someone run for Congress to solve all of your problems. That's asinine. That's dumb. That didn't make any sense. But guys, I got to log off, guys. Soonie, Mo,
Bingo.
Julius, Deontay, man.
Yes,
good to
sir.
see you guys, man. Got to see you guys. God bless you guys, man. I'll be listening to comments while I'm working out.
God bless you as well, brother.
Go ahead, Julius.
Yeah, this is not pushback at all to D. Just saying that you're correct. I agree. I do wish that there was a little more cutthroat in saying, like, what am I supposed to do? People make choices. I think with Trump, not saying what he tried to do, but I see where he was getting at when he did mention about the border, because if drugs are also pouring over through the border, and that's why people are becoming addicted to drugs, because there's so much drugs coming through, him wanting to stop that from happening could be the prevention from the addiction happening. So I think I can see where he was getting at. He just didn't articulate the more cutthroat answer to be like, what do you want me to do? People make decisions. They do drugs. We got to stop this. I wish he would have gone even further. Instead, look at San Francisco doing harm reduction program that's actually giving people drugs rather than preventing them from doing drugs. If he would have went further into that, but I could tell that him talking about the border and how Biden was so bad with it, but he wants to do better with it. That's him in a way saying that that's how you stop the drugs, and by not allowing people to come over to bring them across the border.
No, yeah, I agree, and I mean, that's why I'm not running for president. That's why I'm not a presidential candidate. The heaviest that is the head that wears the crown, right? Like when you choose to step into that role, unfortunately, especially because of the ethos of this country and the statist mentality that has been embedded into the minds of most Americans, you have to accommodate people's emotions and feelings, right? Even if their emotions and feelings are completely disconnected from reality. So, but my thing is though, is that we also have to take into consideration as Americans with civic duty, right? As voters, the implication of that long term. If we keep allowing presidents to sidestep and dodge questions instead of directly answering these questions and saying, hey, you know what? I feel for you. I feel for your families. Those of you that are suffering from addiction, that have addicts in your family, that have people that have died from overdose. These are atrocities. But not to be insensitive, but we also have to acknowledge that we are all humans with autonomy and individual responsibility. And if we uh, uh, continue to enable people to make bad decisions, right, and then reassign blame or fault to some external source, and then seek to get assistance from government to solve issues that it's not designed to solve, then we're going to continue witnessing the expansion of government and the expansion of the state and the expansion of bureaucracy. So I just think there has to come a point in time, especially for those people that say that they're right leaning, that are conservative, that are right of center, to say, hey, you know what? Yes, we have many social ailments in our society. The cure is not government. What did Ronald Reagan say? The 9 scariest words in the English dictionary is I'm the
We are
government
the
and I'm
government.
here
We're
to
here to
help.
help you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that we know that the left and like the Democrats, liberals, they know how to tug on the heartstrings when it comes to propaganda, and I think that's something that the right doesn't do. They don't take advantage of that. I'm not saying to tug on the heartstring, play the emotion card just for the sake of propaganda, but like do it with truth. Like tug on those heartstrings with the truth. Like when they talked about
Yeah, but how do you do
the,
that though? I mean,
well, I
because
mean,
truth is
well,
not true. The reason why the left is able to effectively tug at heartstrings is because they don't tell truth.
Yeah. So when Trump was asked a question about, I think she said something along the lines of, "How are you going to help out when it comes to supporting like mothers and children and things like that?" You could talk about the mothers who are struggling and how you're going to get them out of that struggle and kind of tug on that heartstring, that emotional string from there, and then just tell the truth about what you're going to do and be honest, rather than saying, well, he did so bad and I'm not going to do so bad, and that doesn't really get to the heart of the question.
Let's ask the two. Are both of you? I know Soonie is. Mo, are you a mother?
Yes, I have two kids, adult children.
So let me ask both of you ladies this question. When you heard the question asked about childcare and the struggle that families, specifically women and children, are facing with the inability to care for children or the rising cost of healthcare, do either of you feel that it is the government's responsibility to intervene in your role as a mother and provide you with resources to be able to address that issue?
Not specifically with that issue, but like the things that relate to that issue being expensive. Like, for instance, my friend Heather was in the chat and she said she pays $1,400 a month for her one child to go to daycare, right? Heather and her husband own a business. They do very well. They're not struggling for money, but $1,400 is a lot of money. And I think what people like her are thinking is just lower the cost of everything else. So we're not having to like shell out $1,400 for childcare. That's ridiculous. So, I mean, and I used to pay, I don't remember what it was. I mean, my kids are in their 20s. So it was a long time ago when I had my kids in childcare, but it's expensive. It's expensive regardless.
Yeah.
But I don't expect the government to provide resources for that.
Got it. So I think that's kind of, I fully agree. So is that what you're saying, Julius? Are you saying that there was an opportunity there for him to essentially say, "Hey, look, I understand your problems. I feel your pain, and how I'm going to help you combat this is by getting inflation down, decreasing the price of goods and services, and getting the economy back strong again, putting more dollars in your pocket, giving you more disposable income." So that way you're not feeling the burden of these increased childcare costs.
Yeah, because rather than him saying what he would do, it's, well, what about Biden though? Like he pulled that card, and like it can help, but at the same time, it doesn't help when you don't answer the question directly. If you're going off on a tangent about how bad Biden is, you're beating the dead horse. We get it. Biden's bad. Now tell me how you're going to help out the American people.
Right. I agree.
Can I say one thing? Because I'm actually going to have to hop off because I have an early day tomorrow. But I do want to say I actually agreed with Deontay's assessment of Trump. He wasn't like the savage Trump we're used to, right? But considering what the rules of this debate were and the person he was debating and how comatose that guy was, I think Trump in his mind, because he is a competitor, he was like, why am I even going to break a sweat?
It's not a competition.
This is not even a competition. This isn't even worth my time. You know what I mean? So he was just like, he did exactly what I thought he should do, which is
I agree.
Let Biden showcase what he's got, which was nothing. And Trump just sat back. Now what's going to happen is people are going to be like, let me give this guy Trump, the people that were in the middle, a listen, and now he needs to come with all the other stuff you all are talking about.
I was just going to say that this debate stage was not for that. This debate stage was to make Joe Biden look bad. He was successful at that. This debate was to let people know that his mental decline is real.
Showcase,
and he cannot debate. He cannot carry a country. He cannot make decisions. He can't even finish a sentence without wandering somewhere else.
Conversation.
So if people want to see that, go to Trump rallies, bro. Go watch his interviews. He's constantly on Fox News. He's been doing so much independent media all over Twitter. Go watch his interviews to see what his plans are for this country, because a debate stage
did. Fact check everything was said.
And you know what's crazy about this? So I fully agree with the analysis. When I say Trump wasn't impressive, I think that I'm just someone that has a high level of expectation and it's difficult to satisfy me. But if we're talking about success or unsuccessful, Trump was very successful. I think that if he would have came with Savage Trump, it would have been ineffective. Because
wasted.
The liberal media has done such a great job as painting him as this evil, insidious character, and so he would have checked those boxes had he came with that abrasive, contentious spirit. I think the mute button was perfect because it created all of the opportunity to demonstrate Joe Biden's decrepit behavior.
He's brain dead.
Man,
you're right. I mean,
and it
like
also
Trump,
looked like he had an earpiece in the entire debate.
Yeah. Or
With the way he
something,
kept-
because he was zoning out.
yeah, the way he kept trying to lean forward, like, what's he saying? What?
Yeah, or like looking at somebody that was like maybe holding up cue cards for him. Anyways, y'all, I'm gonna get off. Great
Ma.
live tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow with Soonie. You guys are welcome to come on if you want. But I gotta get to bed.
Good night.
Good
I'm not
night.
going to be up here much longer. I
Thank
know
you,
people.
everybody.
They're watching CNN and getting indoctrinated, so I want to combat that. Go ahead, Julius.
Yeah, last thing I wanted to say was just that you're right. Like Trump essentially is pulling punches. If you want to see him go hard, go to his rallies. I was going to say, go to his rallies. The rallies is going to be like, that debate stage, Biden was very much asleep. So it's like you can bring out that
He
energy
couldn't wait
there,
to do
but
that.
here, he definitely pulled his punches.
His-
Which is why. Oh, sorry. I was going to say real quick, which is why I think his stoicism was perfect. Just chill back and let Biden expose himself.
His first rally after this debate, I think, is he's going to draw in crazy numbers. I really do. I do not think there will be a 10% increase in the Black population. While we were hosting the debate, I was on Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, Spiritual, and like probably 5 others. I had them all pulled up and they're posting, and I'm looking at what they're posting, and they're hyper focusing on, oh man, Joe Biden brings up the fact that Trump slept with Stormy Daniels. And I was like, out of everything that this man has failed on and dropped the ball on, denying historically high rates of inflation, you want to talk about who Trump stuck his dick in?
You have to get in the comments. You have to get in the comments though, because
I did.
Because the comments are a little bit revelatory. Like now, mind you, there are still the individuals with TDS, and that syndrome is it's widespread, right? I don't really think it's irreconcilable. The people that have it, they're reprobate. Like I don't know if there's a cure for it. But the people that were on to be honest, I'll say this. Just from a PR perspective, from a campaign strategy perspective, I can't rationalize that the Democrats did this with the intention of actually having Joe Biden be the candidate come October, November during the election. I can't, because
they're taking him away.
Because to do this 5 months before an election, when most
it's on purpose.
Most debates happen. The first debate typically happens 2.5 months before the election.
Yep.
So 5 months, you're gonna let this marinate and sink into the minds of people. And when the immediate reaction from the left-leaning media outlets is disparaging the candidate that's supposed to be the front runner, it's over.
Yep.
What they can? This is irreconcilable. They can't fix this.
It's crazy.
They cannot fix this. MSNBC, CNN, ABC, all of these different outlets, all of the pundits are talking. Soonie, before the debate was even over, Business Insider dropped an article right away with a headline that was crazy. Something like Biden looks frail and something. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is a concerted effort to replace him.
He's gone. Yeah. He's gone.
And they're going to put the only 2 viable options that they have are Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama.
She's not going to run. Gavin Newsom, in my opinion, will take the VP position, and Kamala Harris will be president. Now, I think this is on purpose, and I'll tell you why. When you pay attention to who Trump has selected for his VP, they're all GOP establishment candidates. Marco Rubio, big one. What's his name? The guy we
Ted
just saw with
Cruz.
curly hair. No, Ted Cruz is not up there. He's not one of the front runners. What is his name? Hold on, let me pull
I know
this up.
there's J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio.
J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and there's one more, and they're
Tim
establishment.
Tim Scott wasn't up there.
They keep saying he's in the talks because he submitted paperwork, but the three front runners are J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and one more guy. I think Trump is going to win this election.
You're talking about the governor from Virginia or West Virginia?
No, from North Dakota.
I can't think of who that is.
He's a representative from North Dakota.
So
hold on before you go. These three guys make me think, okay, Trump's going to win because he's selecting an establishment VP. I think that'll solidify the win for him because the GOP will swing behind him and then will come more votes. I think the Democrats are purposely sabotaging Joe Biden. I don't think they want him to win. I think they need a chance to recover. And why not bring Trump in office and raise hell while he's there? I think he's going to inherit a war. I think they're going to blame inflation on him. They'll finally admit that inflation is real. They'll finally admit that prices aren't coming down fast enough. And look, he made all these promises. Thank you, Doug Burgum. I think they're going to set him up for the okie doke, but I think 100% he's going to win.
Yeah.
So I don't. I think your theory is definitely worth consideration, and we should explore it further on other live streams. But I would only encourage you to take into consideration that this time around, who Trump selects for his cabinet and the various different consultants and people that he places within his administration, it's going to be a very different, series of circumstances going forward. Because, I mean, just think about all of the conservative think tanks that are concerted, right? Project 2025. Like there are many different non-governmental organizations on the conservative side. Like I even watched recently the president of the Heritage Foundation and the president of the Mises Institute sit down and have a discussion together. And the Mises Institute is historically known as a libertarian, classical liberal think tank, right? Economic think tank. But right now their president is conservative. So I just think that the people that he puts in his administration this time, especially if the Republican Party is able to capture control of Congress, is going to be completely different. Completely different. Like I don't think the American people. Now, granted, I may be being a little optimistic here, or
you definitely are,
or a little incredulous, giving credit to the American people, but I don't think, in my mind at least, it's possible to blame inflation on Trump.
It doesn't matter if you think it's possible. What matters is what Democrats can spend.
Yeah, because that's all I was going to say. Well, I was going to say, and I'll say this last bit, and I got to get going, but I agree with you, Soonie. Something that I said early on, that what's going to happen is if Trump does win, like you're seeing CNN be moderate and kind of think that Trump's not that bad, and they kind of give Biden the hard questions, and everybody's like, oh, CNN being fair and balanced. But then let's say Trump wins, they're going to go right back to, well, Trump said he was going to do this. Well, actually, it's all spin. The same thing
They'll bring back up promises made, promises kept. Just like if you paid attention to Joe Biden's debate tonight, Joe Biden was in 2020. Joe Biden is not in 2024.
I mean,
he was in 2020.
I'm not underestimating the opposition. Like I take into consideration what Democrats have been able to accomplish the last 8 years. I'm when I'm listening to you guys say what you're saying, I'm thinking about the fact that they were able to effectively for 3 years propagate this idea that Donald Trump had a relationship with Russia and that he was a Russian plant. So I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I don't know. Maybe I just have a little bit of confidence. You know, in the words of PBD, the future looks bright. Like maybe I'm sitting here and thinking, like, rationally speaking, people are going to be able to see, okay, between 2016 and 2020, cumulative inflation was 7.8%. Between 2020 and not even yet the end of Biden's fourth year, cumulative inflation is already 20%. So if Donald Trump steps into presidency with high inflation, I mean, the only way they would really be able to spin it is by saying, "Oh, well, it's a lag effect, and the inflation that we're experiencing now is really a result of all of the money that Trump injected into the system in 2020 during COVID, and et
That's
cetera, et
exactly
cetera."
what they're gonna do.
Yeah, and that is what they're going to do. But then the
They
Republicans
labeled. What did they label inflation before they wanted to admit that inflation was finally here? It was like
transitory. Yeah.
The Democrats are fucking crafty and they're in unison, and I don't think they're going to allow him to have a successful presidential presidential term. I personally don't see it.
Something is telling me that they're and even though I think the word that I'm looking for is fracticide, right? Like the right tends to kill its own often. Like there are a lot of factions and we are very divided, but I think the left has become divided too. I think the Democrat Party is, especially over the Israel-Palestine conflict, and then I would even say, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all speculative, right? We'll see. But something tells me that there's a bit more of a concerted, synchronized spirit on the right. And I think that if Trump does win, I think that there's going to be a lot of different powerful people that are very reactionary to what's happening right now from the left. And I think that there's going to be a concerted effort to combat propaganda. But I could be just hopeful.
Man.
Wait, did somebody comment say Biden knows way more than Trump?
Yeah. This is what I was reading while I was listening.
Who said that?
I'm like, somebody on Instagram. It says Biden knows way more than Trump. Bro wasn't even answering questions. Every time Biden touched the spot, Trump used the next question to re-answer the previous one and lied the whole time.
Oh, you on Instagram? I didn't know you was on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I'll answer this real quick. This is the problem, is that unfortunately people will still believe a narrative because they don't take 2 seconds like what you did earlier. So they take 2 seconds to actually look up this information that you're talking about. Instead, they just repeat things. It's like people don't have, not everybody, but people out there like him don't have critical thinking. They lack critical thinking. They just repeat it and go, well, he knows more than Trump because Trump just lied, but then can't explain why he lies. That's why when you have these street interviews with these questions like, what did Biden do for the country or how Trump this, they can't give you an answer other than what CNN tells them, what their own family tells them. It's not even just CNN. It's people's families that believe this narrative. You know what I mean?
Just heard my father.
Oh, now listen, guys. Y'all, know that I'm. So let's be clear. I'm not talking about imbeciles, and I do acknowledge that there's a lot of imbeciles in the United States. I'm not prepared to objectively give any type of measurement percentage wise, but I'm willing to go out on a limb and say it's the majority, not the minority. But I mean, let's think about it like this: 74 million people voted for Trump in 2020. So that's 74 million people that have somewhat of an elevated level of awareness, right? To what extent, I don't know, but they have a level of awareness. The light bulb's on, maybe it's because they're watching Fox News all day. I don't know, but they're definitely not infected with liberal propaganda. So really the audience that we're talking about here are the people that voted for Joe Biden in the 2020 election. And I don't know how either of you feel definitively about that election, but I don't think it was legitimate. Allegedly.
Can't talk about that on here.
Okay, allegedly. Right. So I don't know. I mean, I think that people, there's a reason why economy was the number one issue, and there's a reason why all of the polls are indicating that the level of trust for Donald Trump to handle the economy is much higher than the level of trust that exists for Joe Biden. So you would have to be a complete idiot, like imbecile, to believe that Donald Trump created inflation. Especially considering that presidents don't create inflation. Fiscal policy creates inflation and monetary policy creates inflation, right? For example, quantitative easing, right? So injecting money into the money supply, expanding the money supply, that creates inflation, right? Reckless fiscal policy where you're running major deficits, that creates inflation. I don't know though. I guess we'll see.
We will see.
We'll see. I'm hopeful, man.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you enjoyed our honest commentary. I'm going to do a brief live on Instagram because I know a lot of people are going off over there. We have a bunch of different views on Trump doing good. I think people are being very unrealistic. They're used to sensationalism. They're used to constantly being entertained. Oh, Trump didn't do this. Trump stood on a stage and exposed and exploited Joe Biden. He did his job tonight. If you want to see him act unhinged, go to a Trump rally. I've been to one. I promise you, he acts like a full-blown donkey. You're gonna get what you're looking for.
Yeah, and
he acts like a donkey.
Trump be cutting up at these rallies, man.
Yeah, I've gone to 2 of his rallies. He's pretty hilarious.
He be cutting up.
I mean, I've seen multiple rallies on live stream, but I can imagine that it's a completely
different when you're there.
Dude, Deontay, it's different when you watch it on TV. It's one thing. When you go, it's honestly,
man, not you doing the damn Trump hand signs with the 3 fingers, bro.
If you go to his rallies, you'll know the great rallies, very fun rallies, great people. It's fun though. It's fun.
With the 3-finger Julius, man, that was hilarious.
You will have people when it comes to this debate. You're going to have people who are going to purposely be contrarian for the sake of being contrarian because they just want to say, well, Trump lied. I guarantee you, every conversation you will have on this debate is going to be January 6th and Stormy Daniels. That's all you're going to hear.
Of course, that's the case if you're talking to a progressive.
Abortion might sneak in there, but honestly, it's going to be January 6th and Stormy Daniels and maybe the economy. That's what you're going to hear the most. But January 6th. And then when you go in there, Soonie, and then you tell, well, this, and this.
Yeah, I got to hear it.
Well, see, Republicans. See, that's all you probably just ad hom attacks.
Cuckoo Republicans.
You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to pop out and let me stop.
Show niggas. I might be tap dancing tonight. I don't even know.
Hey, don't you get on live tap dancing. It's too early in the morning where you at. All right. Now
I'm telling you.
Now listen. I'm about to go tune into your live, and I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna be very disappointed. I'm already disappointed in people that are on the left. I just think that they're detached from reality. But when the mainstream media outlets that they revere, whose talking points they repeat all day, are literally they didn't even give it. They didn't even give it any breath. They didn't even wait. The moment that the debate was done, they turned on lights, camera, action, and started bashing Donald Trump. Started bashing Joe Biden, saying how deplorable his performance was. So how is any liberal or progressive or left-wing individual going to get on here and start talking about, because let's keep it a buck, Julius. Trump gave the most satisfactory answer that you can give on abortion, and the only people that are not going to be satisfied with it are Christians that are unwilling to compromise or negotiate on this topic at all, right? And that's not all Christians. And personally, I can relate to those Christians, but I also think that he gave the most expedient political answer, which is leave it to the states.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, I mean that's
and
all.
when asked if he was going to ban the pill, he said no, and I don't think that you should. And I support the Supreme Court for overturning or not overturning, but for blocking any legislative proposal to ban it.
Yeah, I mean, that is a conversation to be had. But you're right though. Like, I mean, yeah, he gave the answer that would satisfy the votes. Essentially, that's why a lot of people in California in the primary voted for him because of the abortion topic, because he supported. Because a lot of these times, that these abortion conversations always go to the extreme. So therefore, he says, "Hey, I'm against abortion, but not for the extremes." He's okay with that, and most women would gravitate to that and say, "Okay, I like the fact that Trump's okay with the extreme, because most pro-lifers are okay with the extremes, and they're okay with the pill being distributed as long as it's within the confines of the physician and the patient." So, yeah, I mean, it's what he did.
Yeah, I think Trump looked presidential. I think that he had good decorum. He was well mannered. He threw jabs without being too inflammatory. I think he handled himself very well, bro. I mean, to be honest, I think that the alarmed response from the left is warranted, because they're freaking out right now, because they're
punching the air.
Yeah, they know like that wasn't good. Like and that likely just lost Joe Biden the election.
Facts.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Move on over to Instagram if you want to come to Instagram. Thanks, Julius, for sharing your audience with us. Thanks, Liddell, for sharing your audience. Across all of our platforms, we had over 200 viewers, which was great. It's great. So make sure you come on over to IG.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing more things. It's election season. If anybody's been watching me for the past 5 years, election season is my most popular. I'm always trending or doing something on election season. So if you want to hear objective news, if you want to hear people tell the truth, make sure you tune into my lives. You can follow me on Instagram, literally not Soonie Blanks. You can follow our YouTube, our joint account, Somewhere in the Middle USA. Julius has got his handle up here. Deontay, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at DBladeFord. You can find me on TikTok at DBladeFord. You can find me on YouTube at Deontay Blade Ford.
Lit. All right, y'all. We'll catch you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Make sure you come tune in.
All right, y'all. Thanks.
Night, y'all.
So when you're done getting high, it's over when the party's over. Where you going when the party's over?